keep talking about what you're talking about.
We're just talking about video games.
Yeah,
What else are we
video
supposed
games
to
are
do
good.
in this life?
Yeah, exactly.
Video games are good, if only the industry was also.
Yeah, no, but Secret Agent Wizard Boy and the International Crime Syndicate is the greatest game ever made. Everyone should buy it.
Okay.
Probably.
Have you bought it?
No.
Okay, well...
I was going to wait till the next update.
Well, why don't you buy it now and then forget about it and then come back later?
Because I already was burned once by EU5.
What?
I'm so glad I refunded that, man. I'm
Oh,
so glad
man.
I didn't spend a single dime on that game.
It's good stuff. I've been hearing bad stuff about it, but...
I mean,
also-
it's getting good reviews, and all the Paradox shills love it. It's just, it has no identity.
bold words.
Yep. Correct ones.
They're correct. It's true.
It's true. It's objectively correct.
The best kind of
I
correct.
honestly should have just, while we were just hanging out, I should have turned on a microphone because YouTube basically recorded an entire Final Fantasy Tactics discussion podcast.
We kinda
We did,
yeah.
yeah. Which was me just being like, "Wow, this game's actually good." Imagine
Yeah.
this
Dragons.
this game you've been telling me is good for like 5 or 6 years now. Like it's actually good.
And it was
Imagine
mostly a
that.
spoiler-free discussion because it was mostly about structure and gameplay.
It was.
We really
Aside-
should have just turned on
Aside
microphones.
from
Except
me,
for when this character did this thing.
Ah, well, it's
well,
fine.
you were like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm at the point where this character like pointed at a guy and said, "What if the sun's rays cooked you all the way down to your bones and there was nothing left?"
That would be really funny.
And he was like, "Ah!" And then he disappeared. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, he died in such an unconventional way that I don't know if he's actually gone or not. Because most people, they die in the game, they go on the ground and they go, ugh, hawk to a man, ugh, and then fall over.
Hey man,
but he
hey
just,
man, no one's ever really gone.
But he just gets hit with what looks like the effect from Holy, and there's not even bones or dust left, so who knows?
I do like how that game is, again, no spoilers for Tactics,
Of
since I just
course.
made a whole series encouraging people to go play it.
Don't give your attention.
But I do like that game is so, like, grounded and conventional in terms of the conflict that's happening, that when something that, honestly, by Final Fantasy standards would be like, yeah, of course there was going to be some magic.
Yeah.
Like, when some magic happens, you go,
Whoa.
Yeah, it's great.
Joey, quick derail this. I don't know. I mean,
With what?
what the derailing assumes that there's even anything we're talking
to be
about.
railed.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know
Wait,
what we're doing.
Pause. Vine boom.
Vine boom. Yeah, Tactics is
Dick.
cool.
No.
Tactics is cool. Imagine that.
Mm-hmm,
I think when we streamed Tactics, people may have been able to tell. Before Tactics, I was like, I'm gonna enjoy the story, but I don't know if I'm gonna like the gameplay because I've only ever played one tactical RPG before, and that was Final Fantasy.
Fire Emblem
Fire
Awakening
Emblem
for the
Awakening.
Nintendo 3DS.
It was
good
regular
game.
DS, not
It's like,
3DS.
Awakening was 3DS.
It's 3DS. It's 3DS.
It's 3DS,
Joey.
Joey.
It came out in like 2015.
Was
Joey,
it Awakening
I promise
that I
you we know
played?
what we're talking about.
Yes, you played Awakening.
There was no Fire Emblem on the DS.
Someone
They
keeps
were
blowing
all,
out the mic, like,
it's
a lot.
me. It's me. I'll fix it.
Are you sure?
Okay, yeah, you're right. What the hell was 3D? Whatever, doesn't matter.
I have these adjusted
Nothing
for.
was 3D about
Nothing
it.
was 3D about
But
it.
it was kind of like a mini PS2 game on your freaking handheld.
I
so
have what is.
It wasn't DS.
I have Joshua. I have the mics still balanced for what we were
Okay.
doing last night, which has no boost on it.
Oh, okay.
The mics have
No Vine boost.
have gain within OBS for
Gotcha.
streams, so they do need to be turned down a little bit more.
Thoughts on Dispatch 2025's horniest game? I haven't played it, but the girl that's red, I want to play it for her, but I know you can't date her, so I don't want to play it actually.
So over.
Have
Anyway.
Well, it may be in episode 2.
I watched all the episodes are out now.
Oh,
I
are
have
they actually?
watched, yes. I
Dang,
have
I was
watched-
waiting for them all to come out. I didn't realize they were all out.
I watched the first episode, and they're releasing it normal. This was part of what like turned me off to the Telltale format.
exactly.
Was like I gotta go. Like, I mean, you could buy a season pass, but it was still like you gotta down
Yeah,
We're gonna.
it's the same reason Hitman when it started doing
yeah.
its whole seasonal episode thing. Everyone was like, "What are
Right
you
now,
doing?"
I mean, they did release these in episodes, but they were spread out by like I think a week each.
Yeah.
More like a TV show instead of like months. And right
I didn't
now,
realize they all popped out.
And right
like
now,
that.
I believe
I'll add
you
to the
just,
list.
and I'm pretty sure you just bought it for $30 up front, and there was no confusion about buy it piecemeal or buy the
Good.
season pass. It was like you just paid $30 and you got the whole thing.
I literally watched a video yesterday. Like I just came across a clip of some guy that was playing Minecraft, but he was talking. It's like when I was a little kid, it's like Christmas got Minecraft, the Telltale Minecraft
Oh, no.
story or whatever, and he's like, we got it, and I'm playing it, and I play episode 1, and it's like, and the game wants me to pay for more. And it's like, I'm a kid, and I got this for Christmas, and to play the rest of the game, I got to pay more, and I get more episodes, and he's just like, starts like getting really heated. I'm like, yeah, like we knew how this stuff worked because we were in the industry, but like a regular old Joe out there grabbing this garbage. I hate the episodic format so much.
It's so bad.
I think it makes sense sometimes. Like, it made sense for what Telltale was at the very beginning because they were a small studio. And it was a format. It was a format that made sense
After
for
The
PC.
Walking Dead, it made no sense.
It was a format that made sense for PC games for a small studio. After The Walking Dead, they could have maybe made it into like we released 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And maybe that would have made more like
or-
instead of 5 or 6.
It should have just turned into here's the base game and here's some very like meaty DLC. Like do like the CD Projekt Red format after that.
It was okay. They just didn't need to do 5 episodes, and they didn't need to be spaced out as much as they were. And it was still early in digital distribution models for consoles, so it was just clunky to handle.
Not everyone had the internet back then, you know? It just makes things hard.
But yeah, with Dispatch, it's like it was nice that it came out and I was hearing stuff about it, and that was like a month ago, and now it's all out. So it's like...
Yeah, I didn't realize it was coming out that quick. Because my whole thing when I brought it up to Jacobs, I was like, yeah, I'm going to wait until all the episodes were out. I assumed it was going to be a few months at the very least. That's good to know.
Yosh says Dispatch's release schedule is how the types of games should have come out, considering it's really stripped back, aka no walking segments. But I don't know if it was viable at the time. It wasn't. At the time, they couldn't have done that because they were legitimately building... Like, I think Dispatch was done. And they released it in episodes for the same reason that TV shows used to release.
In episodes.
Because it gets people to talk about it.
Correct. Yeah, it lets things breathe, if you will.
And this is what Netflix kind of fucked up with their release schedule of like, we're just going to dump an entire show on one day. Is like, I got to watch the whole thing tonight.
Or
I'm going to get spoiled.
Or I'm going to get spoiled because my one friend is going to watch the entire thing.
I think I mentioned it for you, but it's like, what I was very much of like, well, no, whatever. Sure, you say that, but whatever. No.
Oh, no. It's a better tomorrow. I'm going to... Oh, no. This song. I've never even played the game, and I have like a Pavlovian response to this song. It's so good.
I feel like after the release of JoJo's Part 6, that was like...
This girl Camel's back.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is objectively... I was objectively incorrect. It's like, I didn't even finish JoJo's Part 6, and a lot of that was also because like it came out, people talked about it for a week, and then there was nothing.
Yeah.
JoJo's Friday was the meme for years because it was like, you know, people were going and talking. I was chatting with people about it. And then it's like
when you're handed 5 movies at once, it doesn't stay in your brain.
No,
you don't have time to discuss it. I was so happy when Andor released week to week for season
1. Yeah,
when
it was week to week,
thrilling.
and it was also the 3-episode arc. So it was like if you wanted to, you could do episode by episode. You could also do the 3-episode arcs, and
just
it still
wait
felt
3
like
weeks.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't feel like
at
you were
the
that
same
far
time.
behind.
Yeah.
It was such a good format. I really enjoyed Andor's.
I was a little
release
annoyed
schedule.
that for season 2 they released it in 3-episode chunks, but I also understand why. It's okay. I get it. That's the stopgap. That's what Netflix has started doing too. That's what they're gonna do for the last season of Stranger Things. They're releasing it in I think like 4 parts, with like several. Like I think it's like they're releasing. I think they just released part 1, and then like the finale is gonna be around Christmas.
For somebody like me, I think that's the perfect middle ground.
Yeah.
It's like you're
I would
releasing it in arcs, but it's it's still you're gonna be talking about the arc, not
Yep.
necessarily the individual episode.
Arcane did the
like
same
that.
thing. I think that was the first time that Netflix did that, and that was really successful for that. Amazon does most of their shows. I think they release them week to week.
Right.
And Disney Plus just depends, I guess.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever they're feeling like for that day.
Yeah. Some of these, because a lot of these guys are like, oh shit, maybe we should be airing these on TV for the advertising revenue. So like, like Peacock, some of their stuff is exclusive, but some of it's on TV. Paramount Plus, like their biggest shows are mostly also airing on TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Star Trek Discovery, the first season of that was streaming exclusive.
It was.
But then after it didn't really land, they started airing the show week to week for season 2 or 3 on TV. and now like Brave New Worlds, which is a marquee
Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds, excuse me.
She's the #1 on Strange New Worlds.
It was a which is a marquee show for Paramount Plus right now, is also just airing new episodes on TV. Landman, which is probably one of the biggest shows that's streaming right now, is also airing week to week on TV.
Billy Bob Thornton likes oil.
Landman is
He has 1 million oil.
So it's like
It's about oil
Aquaman, but for an
No,
no.
no,
Okay.
no. It's about oil tycoons in Texas.
Okay, cool.
And also Tulsa King, which is that's a new show by
Sylvester Stallone is now a crime
Sylvester
boss.
Stallone is the lead. It's the new show by the showrunner of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
That's also airing week to week on TV. It's the first TV thing Sylvester Stallone's ever done. He's like 80, and
Yeah,
you wouldn't think it to watch him in it. I watched the
Really?
first episode of it the other day, and he's like, he looks. He's old, but you'd go like, what is he like? 65, 70? Oh, he's 82?
I feel like it's kind of... I feel like every time I see Arnold Schwarzenegger on TV, too, that's kind of the same vibe I get from him, is like he looks 70 and he's like 85.
He looks like a really fit 70.
Think about like 5 years ago when he was at an event and some asshole like drop kicked him and he didn't even budge.
Yeah.
Like dude's jacked. He still is. He could probably kick my ass. It's good stuff.
He can kick all of our asses, let's be honest.
Yeah. I've never been in a fight.
Yeah, Dean said, it's another reason the Netflix structure sucks is that I always feel like my friends are on a different episode. Like, you're always, like, I'm either ahead or behind, because we're not all watching it. It's easy to have this time in your schedule to watch one episode a week at some point, and you'll all be on the same page. But it's like, I only had time to binge 2 episodes. My friend only watched 1. My other friend set aside their whole afternoon to watch 4 episodes.
Yeah.
We can't talk about it.
And nobody likes the conversation of where are you?
Dude,
well, has this thing happened yet?
that was the...
Because the episodes don't feel like episodes anymore, so you don't even go, it was the episode with this storyline, because it's all just one long
one
mush.
long story.
So
that was
about
one
it
of the
anymore.
worst feelings in college. Was when Last of Us was coming out. And I was a senior in college, and I had a group of like 5 of us were watching it, and like 3 of us had at least knew or had played through the game, like knew the entire plot, and then there were 2 of us who hadn't. And it was like we watched like the first 8, I think, episodes all together, and then, or not all in one sitting, but all together, like we were all watching it as a group. And then it was like spring break happened, and the last 2 episodes released over spring break. And then, like, we just didn't schedule it again. And it was, like, 2 weeks later, and I was like, hey, so are we ever gonna, like, finish The Last of Us? And they were like, oh, we just assumed you did that, like, over the break. And I was like, no.
Damn.
I still haven't gone back to it. Like, I know what happens, obviously, but, like...
Sure, but it's different than watching it.
And then Season 2 apparently was not very good.
Yeah, that's what everybody tells me.
So I was just like, okay, no reason, definitely a reason to stay out.
That's a mixed bag, because Joshua and I... have different feelings on Last of Us Part 2.
I should say I am mixed on it. I don't think it's like the worst thing.
I said
son.
different, not we're diametrically opposed.
Yeah.
I'm very much like I'm willing to look at something that's experimental and taking risks and go, yeah, this is gonna come out uneven. My thing is that everything I heard is like, I would say a defining feature of Last of Us Part 2 is that it is like actively making one of the likable main characters unlikable. Like, there's something people disliked, but it was a conscious choice that the game made.
For sure.
And in Season 2, they're like, well, people love cute Bella Ramsey too much. We can't have Ellie, like, become just, like, violent, awful murder person.
What's the point?
Exactly.
Everything else falls apart.
That's freaking weak. It's effing Shark Week.
So the moment in the game that makes Ellie go, oh, I need to stop, is when she spoilers kills a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
She gets into a gunfight and kills 2 people, and then after she kills one of them, realizes that oh no, this woman was pregnant.
Oh wait, the theme's playing.
With the lighter.
No,
in the TV show, she shoots a man who happens to be standing directly in front of the woman.
Are you kidding me?
So the bullet goes through and hits her in the neck. And she goes, oh no, I did not mean to do that.
That's so
lame.
stupid.
That sucks. Oh, that's garbage. Imagine watching TV shows. Can't be
Gun safety is no laughing matter,
Yeah.
Jacob.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That one, I didn't say who the character is, and you don't know that character's pregnant until they get shot, because Ellie only kind of just met them.
In 90% of gun-related fatalities, the
person with in 90% of fake gun-related shootings, the victim is the one with the fake gun.
That's it, yeah.
I'm so confused how they're going to do Season 3, because Season 2 basically took Part 2's structure and sledgehammered it. I feel like Season 3 is going to work better. Because
you have a blank slate with Abby.
Well, I mean, like the TV audience expectations. I feel like they can just do. Well, also again, like part of the I don't want to sound like I'm like it's genius to make it boring and bad, because that's what people say for art that doesn't work. But like part of the point of the Ellie half of Last of Us Part 2 is that it like becomes a march through hell. Whether you like that or not, again, I'm not saying anybody should, you're not smart enough to like Last of Us Part 2. But it, is deliberately designed to be by the end, you're like, oh, this is bad.
Also,
and then
sorry to
Abby
interrupt.
does, the adventure.
Sorry to interrupt, but going a continued arc from the last time, which is people saying things that I'm like, why was that held up? I have absolutely no idea what this is. Yash Kapoor's message, continuing the previous one, while someone softening the blows, that was held for review.
Soft? We talking about wieners?
Maybe, but softening?
Gotta censor that message.
Bro, I've never talked about someone's wiener softening before. I've never used that exact verbiage, so I don't know, man.
His soft, floppy wiener hung in front of his
I'm gonna guess that was supposed to be somehow, and it got autocorrected.
Yeah, probably, but why was it held for review?
Wiener,
wiener, wiener, wiener, wiener, wiener,
wiener, one wiener next to another wiener, wiener, wiener.
I just think the YouTube AI garbage is going unhinged and going sicko mode, going monkey mode on the comment section.
Can you blame it?
No.
If you have all that power, you should use it.
Yeah, man, of course. Bro, AI is the future. Quit being butthurt about it. Just don't quit ignoring it.
It's funny that you say that.
Okay.
Because I actually have a thread on Twitter that I retweeted the other day.
Oh boy.
Twitter, everyone's favorite site on the internet.
So this is a guy, I mentioned him a stream or two ago, Jacob Novak, former director of business at Square Enix Holdings from I think 07, 08 to 2014, something like that. He and I have disagreements on certain things, as if it matters. Not like I know him. But, he has, let's just say...
Jacob's going to fight him next week.
Let's just say
on top of the Millennium Tower.
Let's say he has a more positive view on AI than I do.
Sure.
But to be fair, he's a business guy, and he's looking at it from the perspective of, it's not going away.
So we might as well find a way to.
So he wrote the following. So have either of you guys heard about Steal a Brain Rot?
About what?
Steal a Brain Rot.
I'm not familiar with that.
Steal a Brain Rot is a 2025 multiplayer video game released on Roblox in May of this year.
Oh God!
In the game, builders buy and steal brain rots based on the Italian brain rot meme, which generate income over time. Italian brain rot being the AI-generated animals wearing Nikes and whatever, right?
Yeah, tongue, sir, and all that.
Yes, exactly. Which are ludicrously popular with young people. Wildly popular.
For whatever reason.
Because people
Owned by Do Big
all
Studios,
are.
Steal a Brain Rot is the only Roblox game to have surpassed 25 million concurrent users.
What the
And is
hell?
the second to have passed 20 million concurrent users, the first being Grow a Garden. The game was popularized on social media where users have shared strategy tips and viral clips of upset children who have lost their brain rots.
Oh my God!
This game,
I know it makes
Caitlin Peterson from Screen Rant described the game as addictive due to its, quote, lack of complexity and straightforward gameplay loop. Patricia Hernandez of Polygon criticized the game's pay-to-win mechanics, noting that the best items are only available for cash, with server administrator abilities available for purchase. Dominic Bonjaks, some kind of Swedish name, of Game Rant reported the game has attracted many cheaters, such as those who who use automation scripts for cash collection and stealing. Game saw popularity on YouTube and TikTok, tens of millions views for stealing and strategy tips, along with reactions of children crying after having their brain rots stolen.
So Jover.
Okay, I take it back. This thing's good.
It won the category for Best Creative Direction at the Roblox Innovation Awards. The Pedophile Innovation Awards. So, Jacob Novak was talking about how big Steal a Brain Rot is, and basically everybody on Twitter was like, it can't be that big, I've never heard of it, which led him to make this thread, which I found quite interesting enough to retweet and be like, read this. It's harrowing, but unfortunately it's what's coming at us.
It's reality.
I've read through thousands of comments, I've come across my articles and Reddit threads about my AI slop post, and I've noticed the following recurring themes. First are dismissive comments of, I've never even heard of Steal a Brain Rot. You not hearing about a thing does not make it less real. It tells me you do not have kids or teens. Brain Rot specific cohort, which overlaps between Gen Z and Gen Alpha, grew up with iPads and iPhones in their hands. They are the ones you've seen at restaurants over the last decade, and half of whose parents choose to calm them down by letting them watch Skibbity Toilet and toy unboxing videos. They have never known a world without YouTube. They thought 6-7 was hilarious, and they'll play videos like this till it hits 10 million views.
I don't want to watch this, whatever this is. What is this?
Bro, I was at a Mexican...
Is this like Coco Melon?
No, it's the Brain Rot rap. I don't know what it is. I haven't clicked on it, but apparently it's got 200 million views.
I was at a Mexican restaurant literally before coming over here, and there was this little dweeb, and I kept hearing him go, 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. I wanted to throw him through the window.
No, my favorite was in a grocery store where I live now. It was within 6 months of me moving to where I live now, and I'm just, walking through the aisles, and there's like a little kid playing with like a little one-shot, off-brand Nerf gun.
Sure.
In the grocery store, right?
Okay.
And I don't know why he's playing with it in the grocery store. Clearly his mom doesn't know how to control. I shouldn't be saying that. But come on. But no, he's running around in this aisle doing this, and then I'm about to pass, so the mom kind of is like, no, we need to go this way, right? And he goes, okay, mom. And then he goes, skibba-dee-dee, and he dances for a second, and then walks back over to her, and I'm just standing there jaw agape, no. Then he didn't go skibba-dee-dee.
That's his little kupo.
Literally, it sounded like he was going kupo.
That's awesome. I love it.
My point of bringing up Brain Rot was to highlight the next generation of gamers. If you've never heard of Brain Rot, you're proving my point that you're not seeing the forest for the trees when it comes to AI. I grew up with Mario and Zelda. They grew up with a tra-la-lero, tra-la-la. They love it. It's their Mario. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying that is reality. Here, watch this video of someone unboxing tra-la-lero garbage toys with 7.1 million views. I don't even know if these are real toys because I haven't clicked on it. It almost looks like he's unboxing fake AI items that aren't even real.
Yeah, who even knows?
It looks like I love the colors too, because all those colors are rarities just from loot boxes.
It's good.
I also saw people dismissive of Steal a Brain Rot for having a lot of players, but implying the game was not making money. My estimate is they'll hit $120 million in revenue by the end of this year based on publicly available data.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
This is with a team of 3 developers built in a handful of months. It could be one of the most profitable games of all time on a cost-revenue ratio, though they lose profits between both platform and Roblox cuts.
Yeah, of course.
Then I saw a comment saying Gen Z includes people in their 20s, not just kids. True, but the implication of this comment is that people in their 20s are too mature for slop Roblox games based on brain rot.
Which, trust me, we're not, even though I can't say I've ever laughed at a skibbity.
To this, I respond with Roblox CEO Dave Bazuki's interview with the New York Times yesterday, which is, I think, the disastrous one where he was like, yes, we have a lot of pedophiles, but it's
it could
also
be
a
an
great
opportunity. Yeah.
Quote, so we've seen the most popular age band of active users on Roblox migrate over the last 5 years from predominantly under 13 to, now I believe we recently said self-reported almost 2/3 over 13. And we see those numbers growing and growing. The fastest growing segments on Roblox are 21 and up right now. Because they were playing Roblox when they were kids 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And this is what I've talked about, my concern about the whole industry is that we're moving away from a model where even if you were just a schmuck who played Call of Duty or Halo and Madden, you did tend to get 1 or 2 other games around Christmas time.
Yep.
You grew up with, like, I'm going to buy a game and play it and finish it, and then I'll buy another game. Even if you weren't prolific,
that's
you bought new
kind of how
games.
we got into the whole thing. Was like,
that's what I'm saying.
When we got our GameCube way back in the day, shows how young we are, I know. Or I guess old we are to some people these days. But it's like, when we got our GameCube, it was like, what? We got Mario Kart Double Dash, and we got, what was the other one?
Pikmin, I
think.
think.
It was Pikmin, I think.
Something else. Might have been like a Jimmy Neutron tie-in shovelware
Yeah,
game.
exactly. And it was like...
But
that was the starting point.
But
and we got 2 games every year.
I had handheld games and PC games. That was
Yeah.
our first console, which was pretty early for you.
Yeah.
But like, I think that in general, there was an expectation, even people who weren't hardcore gamers, of like, I will try new shit because I got handed something random at Christmas or birthday, and it's a game that I play and I beat, and then I go buy a new game. We've got an entire generation of people, which is going to go into this a little bit more in a second here, whose primary gaming existence is games that never go away. And why would I play anything other than Fortnite? Because that's where my friends are, and I'm hanging out with my friends on Fortnite. So the entire concept of buying a video game that you finish, like, they don't even think of video games as that. Video games are basically like a Discord alternative, where we would use Discord to hang out with our friends while all playing different games. They are all playing Fortnite together, and that's what games are to them. Which is a problem.
I'm like thinking about like how I got into certain genres and just like the weird like butterfly effect of how certain things happened of like legitimately. I remember the way I got into like strategy and 4X games was literally that you got a copy of Civilization Revolution just like on a lark. That's one of the games our parents got us one Christmas, and
I might have picked it because I know I like Civ.
Maybe.
I wanted to get into it, but
and then you never got into it, and then I grabbed it out of your DS pouch one day and said, I'm going to try this, and thought it was the coolest thing ever.
I played a decent amount of Civ.
I know you played a decent amount
Not as
of
much
it,
as you,
but
yes,
then I
this is
played a ton of it, and then it was, the new one apparently just came out on PC. I think I have a decent Mac that can run it. I'll try that, and then from there it was someone in high school was like, you play Civ? You should try Paradox Games, and then my life ended.
If you think that the fastest growing segment of 21 plus isn't playing Brain Rot, well, the other stuff on Roblox isn't substantially better, and Brain Rot is consistently the #1 game on the platform by far. You may wonder, how can this be? How can this be? How can anyone past the age of 8 like AI Slop? I ask you to think about things outside the Western bubble for a moment. A generation of players that Dave is describing, the CEO of Roblox, worldwide, is the first generation in the Middle East, Asia, Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America to grow up with smartphones in their hands. They did not grow up with PC and consoles defaults like you may have. They play free-to-play Android games and make hundreds and make up hundreds of millions of gamers. They are playing pay-to-win. They are paying for pay-to-win items and playing games riddled with ads. Their notion of games is very different than yours if you grew up with a PlayStation, and they are the bigger overall audience.
They're the ideal audience for AAA game.
For AAA game devs, they are the ideal audience because it's way less effort for way more return.
If you dismiss them as not being true gamers or that Roblox isn't games, you're falling into a no true Scotsman fallacy, where your definition of gaming is the only one that is right. I should add that I am amused by a few comments saying that boomers like AI Slop too. It is true. I know a number of old people who listen to AI podcasts.
Brother, oh my God.
Did you hear about the company producing 3,000 Slop podcasts a week? How about the 175,000 AI podcasts already on Spotify and iTunes? Did you know that AI Slop music is topping the Billboard and Spotify charts? It is everywhere. I apologize for saying Gen Z loves AI Slop. It turns out everyone loves AI Slop.
At Thanksgiving yesterday, half of my family was pissing themselves laughing because my cousin showed a video of an AI-generated cat trying to use a drill. And they were pissing and shitting and slapping their knees, and I wanted to die. Oh my God!
What are you talking about? It's funny.
Yeah, if I was, I might have said something if I was less well adjusted. But instead, I just sat there and I drank my Mountain Dew that was provided to me.
You got Baja Blasted.
I wish I had Baja Blast. It was regular, but whatever. Not complaining. But yeah, it was. They were already, for some reason, this Thanksgiving, people were yapping extra hard, and so I was kind of getting a headache, and then everybody stopped to look at this video and started laughing in unison, and I felt like I was losing my mind. Ugh, I love it. I love AI Slop. I love people easily entertained by garbage. It's so cool. Coming from a
so
Sonic
dismissive
fan.
of your skibbity comrades.
Oh no, the cousin that showed it was older than me.
Well, no, I understood that. Trust me, I understood that.
Everybody that laughed was older than me.
Of course.
Ugh, awful.
We're in a weird situation.
We are.
Where I do think that a lot of people our age and a little bit younger than us, a little bit older than us, not everybody, but a decent percentage of people our age have watched what happened, and they're like, I am not giving my kid an iPad.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to fucking matter. Macro
No, of course
scale.
it's not.
Genuinely, I think the only way to fix it is to get the Chromebooks out of schools in the U.S. at least. We've got to get the Chromebooks out of schools.
I don't know what
It's
you're
not
talking
useful.
about.
Yeah.
Before they got rid of the SNES emulator on my Chromebook, I was so mad. I had just finished Turtle Rock and Link to the Past. I was so close to beating it again, and then they freaking blocked the emulator.
We either get rid of it altogether, or they actually, instead of using a mass-produced tablet, somebody make a tablet that is exclusively like people are always going to be able to crack these things, but in a hypothetical situation, one that cannot be cracked and is exclusively boring, that's the only way you're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, the other thing he was talking about I think it was him that was talking about it. Maybe I saw somebody else talking about Jacob Novak, that is. Talking about basically like, McDonald's ain't good, but people still eat it. That's the future we're looking at, is this shit isn't going away.
This is gaming.
There's always going to be a market. There's always going to be a market for real restaurants, but there are people who are just here it is. McDonald's is a good example. People love McDonald's. It's a huge business. It is, as you say, junk food. Meanwhile, there continue to be high-end restaurants, many of whom are profitable as well. From the anti-AI sentiment that we're seeing in various articles, it appears consumers generally do not... despite the anti-AI sentiment we're seeing in articles, it appears general consumers do not care. Biggest game of the year, Steal a Brainrot, had 30 million concurrents. Approximately 80 times the Arc Raiders concurrents. Named after and based on AI slop characters.
You know,
Gen Z loves AI slop, does not care.
I think that a good way of looking at this would be like, again, with where gaming is at now, it's like the difference between like TV in the 50s and like movies in the 50s to like a big extent. It's not quite that level of a gap because obviously the lowest common denominator in this is much lower than the lowest common denominator of TV in like the 50s and 60s, but at the same time it's like the level of production value was so much different at the time. For like, now it's starting to blend, right? Because I mean, you have miniseries that have like huge budgets, but especially like sitcoms in the 50s, 60s, 70s were all like, they were produced on the cheap. They were produced for efficiency. It's like a reality TV show or a game show. Something that can be produced weekly that is going to probably bring in the same viewership and like similar amounts of money to like a generically successful movie, but it's going to have a way smaller budget and is something that big networks are going to keep producing over and over again.
Yeah. People are pointing out that it's easy to say without kids that you won't do it.
Oh, of
especially
course.
when like there's
Of
social
course.
pressure. I know. I'm saying I'm saying a lot, because there are a lot of people who have observed like, oh no, this is a real problem. Like, I have a friend who has kids and they have Nintendo Switches, but limited access to screen time, limited TV time. The only reason they have iPads is because her first grader has an iPad for class.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because why books?
We didn't have that until 9th grade,
Whoa.
and even that, they realized that the iPads were too much of a distraction, so they switched to Chromebooks, which would have been great if they had kept the emulator. But then I just played Tetris, and everyone else played, like...
It's the future.
It's the future. It's the future. It's
Giving
the future.
babies crack is the future. They can get so much more done. They learn so much
It's
more when we
true.
give them cocaine.
And then we make them play basketball.
Yeah.
Crack babies?
Yeah, exactly. And I got what you were referencing.
Student athletes.
I'm all for this
That is
Australia
genius,
social media ban. People are like, it's an infringement on civil liberties. Yeah, well, it's an infringement on civil liberties to say you can't have cocaine.
Yeah.
But
It is technically an infringement on civil liberties to go to, and to say that someone has to go to school, too.
yeah,
That's true.
I'm like, well, there's enough research that's like, hey, what social media does to a 13-year-old's brain is the same thing that would happen if they took E.
Yeah. No.
Oh, then they shouldn't be allowed to have it then.
Yeah. It's this stuff is, our technology is advancing so fast, and there's no consideration being done about the consequences of it, because it's profitable, obviously, which social media wasn't at the beginning, but it certainly is now. But it's like, it's just we can't keep up. Laws can't keep up. People that care can't keep up with this world we're living in and the detrimental effects we're having.
The thing that Joshua was talking about a second ago about how the media landscape, different, talking about the 50s movies to TV, I actually think, and I'm really not trying to do kids these days, we were so much better, but I've thought about this a lot, and I'm like, the media landscape of if you grew up early days internet, 90s, 2000s, is more similar to the media landscape of the 60s and 70s than anything since 2010, basically.
Yeah.
Because of the immediacy of streaming, the decline of movie theaters, the decline of just turning on network TV, and the immediacy of access to content. Because YouTube, and other forms of getting, even before we had YouTube, where you could find a video, it just took you, 4 hours to download a, a 240p QuickTime file.
Yeah.
Like
a day that a lot of folks, younger than us can't even fathom.
Shout out to Napster.
Is a even with something like Napster, where you have near instant gratification. It wasn't. You had to take a long time to download something.
And the FBI might, take you on a little sightseeing tour of
and it was an how do I put this? There was an exciting new frontier feeling to the internet, but there was an immediately appreciable what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of cheapness. This isn't quite working yet compared to movies and TV.
Fair.
And YouTube was a place to see people Niga Higa How to Be Ninja was the most viewed thing on YouTube for a while.
It was.
Which was two fucking guys being funny in their living room.
Well,
there was a certain
they went to a mountain in that one.
In the early internet, they hadn't it hadn't been corporatized. It felt like a wild wasteland where anything was possible because nobody had figured out the secrets yet.
Yeah.
It was like early commercials, where it's people were just doing whatever because I don't know. I don't have the market data to show what the most efficient commercial is. Now you have fucking Limu Emu or whatever.
Oh god!
Apparently, is successful enough that
I don't understand how that ad series, that campaign works.
Yeah, but it is
Liberty
the worst
Mutual
ad campaign I've ever
all of the
seen.
Liberty Mutual ads
They all suck.
They all suck.
awful.
There's no good commercials anymore. But
No, there are still good commercials.
Yeah.
I would say that specifically Liberty Mutual also stands out to me as that is rock bottom.
Right, but it's
There's
obviously
an emu in the commercial. Isn't it funny?
Yeah,
that
but
there is a CG emu.
they've been doing it for
around?
this long. They've got the market data to back it
says
up.
it works.
Obviously, it
Green
works.
line go up. Okay,
But it's back in the day, it's you didn't know what worked or not until you'd done it, so people were just experimenting. The internet's weird. We don't have, ads everywhere. We don't have it. Oh my god, websites were usable. When you were trying to look up something,
Shout out to the Mog Station.
you wouldn't go on fandom dot whatever and your phone freeze because it's loading 15 ads at once. It was a different time.
Broker Lois's early YouTube will mirror early AI, but my feeling is that early YouTube, well, number one, there was an expectation of whatever you were seeing was definitely real, because until guys like Freddie Wong came along, nobody was doing visual effects on YouTube. But the main thing there is that YouTube, even for young people who were excited about it and spending a lot of time on YouTube did not supplant movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
It was
a
a
novel
sideshow.
thing.
It was a sideshow. Yeah.
Whereas now, there are people whose entire entertainment experience is TikTok. And it has been, they were born 8 years ago.
Yeah.
TikTok can be their entire media landscape.
Yeah, that's fair.
From the moment the parent put the iPad in their hand.
I have a friend
to
who is
now.
I have
They
a
were screwed.
I have a friend who is a teacher. She teaches English, so she shows movies that are adaptations of books in her English class sometimes. And
As English teachers are wont to
and
do.
she teaches 16 to 17-year-olds across her spectrum of classes. And she has asked the classroom, so what are some of your favorite movies? And the answer she's basically gotten is, I don't really watch movies or TV shows. I see clips of movies on TikTok, but I know memes.
I think I'd probably like this movie.
I know memes, but I don't watch movies. I don't really have a favorite movie because I don't really watch movies. These kids are 16 years old, and their media consumption habits are already completely fucked up. Partially because of their expectation of being able to entertain themselves for free.
Which I mean, fair, given the power that they hold in their hand is a fair assumption. I think I don't think we should be like, oh, they're already effed up, but at the same time, it's so radically different from the way that media has been created over the last 100 years. It's inherently more long form than that it definitely does make it harder to enjoy, or even just get any real connection to something that is a bit more lengthy.
Right, and going from the short form.
We can't say it's wrong. We can't say it's the incorrect way to do it. Even if we might feel that in our hearts.
I think if it's giving kids functionally ADHD, and also if it is personally, as a media literacy guy, if it is drastically lowering media comprehension, then I do think it's a bad thing.
I mean, if people aren't understanding art as well, that's sad. I mean, it is, I would say, a problem but at the same time, it's like the pendulum will swing on this. It always swings on this. Like
We'll see.
there was a big panic, and maybe this is me just being optimistic about things as I usually am, but like. I mean, there was such a big panic in, like, the 80s and 90s.
About video games.
No, not about video games, about MTV, dude.
Sure.
About, like, this exact same thing happening of, like, the only thing my kids are watching in the 90s is Beavis and Butthead and South Park and MTV. And, like, oh my gosh, they're losing...
But those things were actually good.
That's, yeah.
Well, no,
I know, but we were saying maybe Steal a Brain
know.
Rot's good. Maybe we're not being fair.
No, I'm not saying that because I don't think it's good. However, I'm saying that generation turned out just okay in terms of like how they consumed media, and so I think the jury's still out.
No, my thing, I really only am worried about this because of how much I hear about literacy rates in the U.S. and other first world countries.
It do go down, it do.
And the literacy rates and the idea that colleges are turning into nobody knows how to read a book in Ivy League schools.
It's really bad. Education is the one where AI does really freak me out.
But that's what I'm saying is that as silly as it sounds, media literacy does like directly correlate to your willingness to read a book and engage with the text, as opposed to using ChatGPT to write you.
There's a reason we teach English, and we like teach story structure. It's very important.
AI is this generation's new metal. They will grow out of it eventually. Maybe.
I hope so.
I think that when the cost of this shit becomes wildly inefficient, because I think most of this stuff isn't profitable right now. I think like the AI office solution infrastructure, which is also the only thing that is still going to be used in 15 years, I feel like prolifically, I feel fairly confident, is like logistical aid stuff and mass data analysis. That stuff I think is probably being priced in a way that makes sense.
Well, yeah, because LLMs are incredibly useful for those specific tasks.
Well, let's talk about a second and get like bringing up like the AI like brain rot stuff. It's like obviously the like that stuff is AI generated and the Roblox game is making money off of it. But whatever software was used to produce the original AI brain rot stuff, it's not making any money off of that anyway. It's like trying to monetize this stuff outside of the office, like you're saying. It's like I don't think it's making any real
Google AI generated search results.
That's not making
don't make any money. That's just losing
all,
money.
All that's doing. The only thing that's doing is giving leverage to the people like internally to be like, well, this many people actually are using it, and nobody's
it's
actually
just making it harder for Jimmy and Timmy to pay their power bill in the winter.
It is, and it's making it so that every quarter X number of hours of AI use occurred.
Yeah, and of course they're not explaining that nobody's actually using that, and that is just somebody Googled and that came up and it was ignored. But because they Googled anything and it comes up every single time, well, that's somebody Google AIing.
Context sensitive says student teacher in chat here, boys. Wish me luck in the trenches. Good luck.
Good luck and Godspeed.
You're
Mr.
gonna
President.
need it.
Good grief.
Good luck. Try not to burn out. But it's understandable if you do.
You're a hero. Just remember that.
Just remember if you burn out, there were many who came before you, and it's not a negative reflection on you. It's about society. It's not your fault.
The chewing clown is going to say a few things about society now.
True.
Do you know a group of clowns? It's called a manifesto of clowns.
Chris, that's not true. But no, I think that once the bubble bursts, like
it's going to, like very soon.
I just don't understand like the amount that they're spending on these data centers isn't going to make any sense, and suddenly the cost of Sora 2 is going to quintuple, and suddenly I can't cheaply produce 17 AI slop videos a day that might make me enough money on TikTok for my return on investment, and suddenly that stuff doesn't go away. But I do think there's a tipping point where the amount of AI slop that's being generated nosedives because the normal person can't make money off of it anymore. I think that's what we're looking at.
Well, I mean, it's like the .com bubble. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot more similarities than people are giving it credit for, and I mean this one I think has more legs than .com just because like. I mean, we talked about there are specific like statistical analysis things where AI is extremely useful and will probably
it's good for programming too.
Oh, it's insanely good for data cleaning. That's one way
for
where
debugging.
I
wouldn't because
specifically not in my job, but in my my school time, I used AI a lot for specifically.
And of course, when
debugging.
I say programming, like I'm not talking about what EA CEO is saying of
eliminate the program, so program the game from the start.
first person shooter sprint go. It doesn't work like that. I'm saying only on the back end of things.
Because like Square Enix recently said something about we're hoping to have 70% of our QA handled by AI within a few years.
Good luck
but
with
to be
that.
fair, 3 years ago they were like, we are actively working on NFT shit and nothing happened. So this is what you got to say to make investors say, yeah, number go
Yeah,
up.
of course. If that
But it's
actually
like,
came out, then they'd be the second Bethesda
AI
company.
cannot positively identify bugs, but if you know a bug and you can't find it, you could say, hey,
Yeah.
AI,
What's wrong with
what
this
in the
code?
code is causing this to happen? And it might be able to find it.
Yeah.
And that can save actual man hours. That's useful.
Yes.
But
that's the smart, boring stuff. and
exactly,
we
which
need-
doesn't excite people.
Exactly.
The other big difference
We need to have an ad where a little child loses their bunny on a plane, and instead of and they use the AI overview to see what that toy was because they don't remember buying it.
The Google Gemini ads
then-
are the funniest
No,
because
this
they are
is-
all non-existent use case scenarios.
Like this one is, oh no, it would take me 2 weeks to buy another one, and I don't want my child to like know that she lost the toy, even though that's like a valuable lesson
it's
for a
like-
child to learn to like take care of their stuff, right? It's like I don't want my child to know that, so I'm going to AI generate 30,000 images of this toy has gone on vacation. And it's
to
going
Italy and the moon.
and to the moon in Italy, and it's going on a ski trip now. Like all this like terrible looking slop. Now my child will be satiated and won't, and you know the small child god will not demand my sacrifice.
And I'm helping
to the,
teach children to that anything they see with their eyes they can believe.
It's real. It's real.
I love gaslighting my children.
Then one of the funniest one of we're back. It's fixed.
Gact is back.
Is it fixed?
Gact is indeed backed.
Alright, I think it's fixed now. Yeah, gang, I don't know. For 2 seconds, it just said no connection.
I think our internet, like the Wi-Fi at least, just died. And you weren't hardlined.
Probably. I wasn't hardlined at the mainframe.
I can't believe
So
you
we're
would
back
do
now.
such a thing.
But I was saying, big difference between the dot-com bubble and this bubble is the dot-com bubble was driven primarily by, like, private equity
Yeah.
or venture capital.
Yeah, same thing.
Not quite, but it's basically functionally the same thing. And
Private equity is just organized venture capital.
and individual investors, whereas this bubble is mostly driven by big tech companies investing in each other. I don't know how many people know that, but most of the money that's being thrown around on these stocks right now is actually Microsoft investing in Nvidia, Nvidia investing in Microsoft. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
They're
It's
all
an
investing
Ouroboros.
in their own pipeline. And also, this is something that I learned relatively recently. Part of why this is happening now. So you know how like a couple of years ago, Google and Apple both built these like massive new office complexes.
Yeah.
You've probably seen pictures of these
course.
huge new age installations that take up a city or whatever. Part of why this happened is because, due to various tax code whatever, basically since the mid-90s, when all of these companies started making a shit zillion dollars, most of their profits have been offshore until the last, 8 years. So basically all of the money that they have made since the information revolution, they've just been keeping in their back pocket, and now they're spending it all.
Well, it's like
on this, of all
Nintendo,
things.
where like they had so much money from the Wii era that when like the Wii U was bad,
didn't
they were
matter.
like,
Eh.
who gives a crap?
So when it collapses, most normal people aren't going to lose their shirt. Because the other thing is that even though, like the NASDAQ or whatever, GDP growth in the U.S. has been driven some ludicrous percentage by tech stocks, composite indexes.
It's the growth is being driven by
Yes,
tech stocks,
yes.
not the market's overall status. It's just that that's why it's called the Magnificent Seven, right? In terms of those stocks, is because everything else, yes, it is kind of stagnating in the short term. Given the price shocks after COVID, that makes a lot of sense. Like that was going to happen, but it's more the fact that it's those are the only ones that are still growing at the rate that is seen as very positive.
And most normal people, unless they've just chosen to put all of their money into Microsoft and Nvidia and whatever, most normal people hopefully aren't going to lose their shirts if these stocks collapse.
Right.
Yeah.
As bad as they did with the dot-com bubble or whatever.
Well, it's even the housing crisis, obviously huge effects, right? But that was, 10% of the total U.S. economy, whereas I'm going to guess these 5 companies are, let's just say, much less.
Hopefully.
I mean, they are.
Again, percentage of GDP growth, but percentage of the total economy.
And
much
also,
less,
I
yeah.
don't think any of them are going to go bankrupt. Maybe that's
They're
just
not going
me.
to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe some of like some of the like Microsoft and Nvidia are not going to.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking really funny if OpenAI went bankrupt. I would like that for
That'd be
me.
nice.
I would enjoy that. But probably won't happen. Probably just their board will all get whacked and the company will scale back. Maybe there's a really funny interview with Jeff Bezos from the 90s.
Okay.
Late 90s, early in the bubble, right? Where basically he's being interviewed and someone is like, but are you really an internet company because you have warehouses?
What?
Because, Joey, that bubble was driven so much by a misunderstanding of the infinite possibility of the internet that people were like,
You don't need physical things
you don't need
anymore.
physical things.
Oh my God! I'm
The
buying.
computer's going to make it all just happen.
I just bought land in the metaverse.
Yes, no, basically. Like the frenzy around that stock was so much, it's so new and so innovative and infinite possibility that there were people who looked at Amazon as not a true internet investment because it was a company that had warehouses
brick
and
and mortar.
inventory
Yeah.
and shipped things to you. And there's this whole interview where Jeff Bezos is trying to explain, well, of course, we're a company where, you can find the book that you want very easily because we have a massive catalog. Yeah, but are you really a .com, though, because you have inventory? And he's like, that doesn't matter. And the interviewer doesn't get it.
That's
Okay, we
nuts.
should
I
probably
haven't
get
seen
off
that.
of AI, right?
I don't care. I was kind of more... We were talking about economics there more towards the
Oh,
end than the
yes.
other. Was talking with...
This was supposed to be a Q&A stream, though, Jacob.
Well, I mean, I just
There
said
have
it can
been
be
plenty of
whatever.
Qs
It can
and
be
we've
whatever.
Been A's about it.
We've
It can
been
be whatever. Yeah, I was like, maybe we'll play a game. I was like, nah, because Joey's
We
got to
should've
go
played a
relatively
game.
early, and no, it's fine. We're all hanging out. Because I honestly,
We
when I was
should've played
thinking, when I was
Fortnite.
thinking about this, I was
This should
thinking
have been the Fortnite
We should have played
stream.
Roblox.
when I was thinking about this, I was honestly thinking more along the lines of like this could be a live research log almost, which is
Yeah,
kind of what it is
basically.
at this
Yeah.
point, which is fine. Maybe I'll even
Throw
put
that
this,
in the playlist.
Maybe
why
I'll
not?
put this
Yeah.
in the research log
Sure, why
playlist. Yeah.
The first one in a while that's not just, the little animated pictures.
Yeah.
Context Census says best part of these streams is bouncing back and forth between behavioral economics and Senran Kagura takes.
Yes, the thinking man's stream.
I don't think
Sorry.
any of us have.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever delved into that.
I know.
thank God.
I'm aware. The funny thing, the only thing I know about Senran Kagura, is, aside from the visuals of it, is that there's like one game that has like sauce to it. There's like one game where I've seen
There
people
is
do.
one game.
There's like one game
that has things.
I see people pulling off like Devil May Cry combos. I'm like, this actually looks kind of fun. I'm not playing it, and I'm not saying I'm above playing it. I've played what you call it, the Akiba's Trip. All right.
Yeah.
Why did you
I'm not
play
abo-
that?
Because it was funny.
Because it was funny.
It's funny to
'Cause
play
it was
this
fun.
game.
It was $4 and it was funny.
It is funny to play this.
It's funny. You beat people with a bat and their clothes pop off.
I'm
and
aware. I know the premise. I understand
Then,
the
and then they
premise
look
of
at
the
the
film,
sun
my
and they
master.
go and they
That's one of my
die.
favorite
It's awesome,
segments
bro.
in the Alan Wake playthrough.
borderline experience.
Which is in the Alan Wake playthrough, which I've like have an almost finished highlight compilation of that, which is sitting in my back pocket along with a number of other highlight compilations that will come out in hopefully coming weeks and months. The Alan Wake one's the killer. It's really good.
Okay.
But in that segment, we're just because like we were constantly doing like the Alan Wake manuscript like tonality, making fun of how he writes, and we were like, we have a segment where Barry is a gamer and he's trying to convince Al to play games. He's like, you have to play Resident Evil 4, the chainsaw enemy, Al. It was so scary. But then eventually it becomes, Barry tried to convince me to play a game called Akiba's Strip. I was not convinced, but the title was intriguing to me. It was what you would call a double entendre.
Triple, actually.
Yeah,
It's actually
you say triple entendre, and then like and then you're like you would strip enemies first of their clothing and then of their life, and then I said, and here I found myself stripping enemies of their darkness. I found myself wishing that I had listened to Barry and played Akiba's Strip. Maybe I wouldn't have found myself in this situation now.
It was good. That was a good playthrough. It was fun.
That was a fantastic playthrough. That was a really good playthrough. That's part of why I want to make that compilation, because not a ton of people watched, and I think that's genuinely one of the funniest things we've ever recorded. I think that playthrough was fantastic.
It was very fun.
There's been a very heavy Hitoshi Sakamoto playlist today.
Yeah,
and I love it.
It's a
And
really
I
long,
love it.
It's a really long playlist, and I just hit shuffle. It works out fine.
That
'cause
was
Joey's-
that was so bad when I realized that Unicorn Overlord was all Bass Escape music and Sakamoto did none
did
of
not
it.
do it.
There's like a few good themes in that game, but for the most part, it's kind of just
But yeah.
forgettable music. Good game though.
I was just rewatching the
Play it on
Uncharted
the
4
hardest
videos.
difficulty, kids. Play Unicorn Overlord on the hardest difficulty. I played it on just regular hard, and it was like the easiest game I've
Because once you
tactical
figure it
RPG I've
out,
played
it just
in a while.
ends.
When
Once you solve the
I've
problem,
like never
it's just
played
over.
any like serious deck builder ever, and it was the easiest game ever. So that tells you something about.
I will
how
try
easy
to
it
remember
is.
that when I eventually get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking like I could just put on FF12 music for appreciation purposes because Joey even playing Tactics,
I have.
so even listen to a lot of Hitoshi Sakamoto music, and that is what's interesting
Did they
about that.
remaster the music at all?
No, they did
No,
not.
it's
No,
the
that's too bad.
that's what's a mixed bag on that is like on one hand,
Like the redoing of Under the Stars for the church scene in War of the Lions is like one of my favorite pieces of Sakamoto music. It's just a piano solo, and it's never been redone for anything. It's never been included on an album, and it
just
pisses
plays
me
in
off
that
to
one
no
cutscene
end.
from the PSP
It's
version.
so
of the game.
good.
This is, I imagine, I don't know how the new version handles it. I don't know if it plays the PSP cutscene by default or if you have to go in the menu, but it's when
Oh no,
Delita and
context
Ramza
sensitive.
talk in a
I
church.
cannot believe you played
When what?
Engage on
Delita and Ramza
hard.
talk in a church.
That.
Was that text boxes or
That
was
was
that
just text
cutscene?
boxes.
Yeah, okay.
No,
There's
but-
a PSP cutscene
Yes.
in the menu.
Yes, I did watch that.
Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah, that's got
Context
cutscenes.
I'm
sensitive.
trying-
That was a choice to play Engage on hard first, because Engage is like the most bullshit Fire Emblem game ever made.
Awesome.
Like that one's the one for the freaks.
K Hearts Lover L3 said, "I'm just happy you guys are back. I was just rewatching the Uncharted 4
Yeah,
videos.
Jacob, get to those now.
God,
Whoopsh.
it's gonna
Get
be
to
so
it.
so annoying
Why
to
don't-
finish those.
You should just make those episodes like they don't need to match that closely.
What I'm going to do for the first one, the literally the next
Yeah,
episode
the Evelyn stuff.
is the Evelyn stuff. I'm going to make 2 versions of the video, and one of them is going to be I'm going to match it as close as I can because it's mostly a walking level to our full commentary, and then I'm going to be like, also in the description, here is an alternative, which is our original audio, and the only video is the cutscenes, which will match perfectly. Then the next episode after that, which is mostly exploring in combat, I'm just going to have to record a new episode with new commentary, and I'll play our original commentary where I can sync it up or where I can
Yeah,
put
that
cutscenes.
works.
And again, there will be an option in the description of listen to it with our original audio and video on screen when it's the cutscenes. And then the same thing happened for the last hour of the game, for the epilogue, which I will have to fix, but whatever, it's fine. I'll get back to it
Ruby
eventually.
Knights. I think I just did 3 houses on hard mode. It's the first time I've actually beaten it because I played Golden Deer and do not play
I believe
Golden Deer
that's my
first
drink,
playthrough.
Jacob.
Yeah, it is your drink. Shit. My lips did not touch it.
okay.
Golden Deer first playthrough is like terrible. Don't do it. Even if you really like Clyde and you really like all those Golden Deer boys, do not do it because it's like you don't get
If
any.
you really like him, then you'll play it a second time.
Oh, it's
Idiot.
like you don't get any of like the
I promise
plot
I didn't
details
touch
you
it.
really
It's
need
still-
to
it's
get to like
uncontaminated.
understand
You're
what's
good.
happening in the story. Like
I'll turn the part that my lips were closed.
the Red Lions.
I'm not afraid,
The
it's
King of
alright.
Red Lions playthrough is like or the Blue Boys playthrough is like what you want to do for the first playthrough. I did the Blue Boys second time around on hard with permadeath, and that was hard. That was really hard. It took me a long time. I was using Divine Pulse like crazy, but it also felt like very fair, and I was really engaging with the Persona-esque like character building aspect and like relationship building aspect of it on like the military academy side. It was honestly, Three Houses was a mixed bag for me first time I played it, which I played casual normal, and then playing it hard permadeath was like very fun the second time around. I think I was on hard anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, my Switch is right there. I'll just check.
Oh my gosh.
It'll take 5 seconds.
Real life receipts. Incoming.
We shall see.
Yeah, I do want to play that game, but then it always comes down
Another
to
6 years of
long,
Three
dude.
Houses discourse.
Well, it's no, and this is completely me. It turns into I'd have to get the Switch out.
Persona
I have to
6
actually
comes out,
play it.
another 6 years of Persona 5 discourse.
Dude, no, it's
Persona-
Three Houses is good, but
Persona
it's not
6
like
comes out
incredible by any means. I should
Another
say.
12 years of Persona 4 discourse.
Wait, I'm not. These controllers aren't being used wirelessly. Switch. God, Joy-Cons suck.
Come on. I played Smash
Please connect a
Bros-
controller. My brother in Christ.
I played Smash Brothers for the first time since I played it last year.
Yeah.
At Thanksgiving, some guys were like, "Let's all meet up and play games," and I did fine. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be a casual, fun time," and people came in and they were like They were sweat lords. They were ready to
They're
go.
gonna win. I
held my own.
I finished Reggie Fils-Aimé's book
Oh.
a week or two ago, which is pretty good. It's pretty short too, so if you're not like normally a nonfiction reader or like a
Yeah, hard classic was what I did last playthrough. That was, it's Joey though. It's 60 hours.
I mean, that's fine.
It's long.
I'm not afraid of it being long. I'm afraid of me touching the Switch and going, I don't want to play this.
Well, dude, seriously, I feel bad, but I like almost never play anything on my Switch just because I don't like playing things on the Switch.
I don't like playing things on the Switch.
I'm guessing the Switch 2 is going to be a bit different just because it's bigger. Like the controllers are bigger.
It's still flat on the back to accommodate the dock, which is the big problem. If the Joy-Cons
Yeah, that's
had
the
like
problem.
a proper, form
I don't like playing
to
it
match
with
to you,
It's just not fun.
yeah, I like it. But I have small. Well, actually, my hands aren't that small for my body size. But
Yeah.
I like playing on the Switch well enough. But
I have heard good things about the Digimon game, but I have not touched it, and I doubt either of you have.
Yes, context sensitive. Three Houses does look and run bad. I think it looks fine. It does run horribly though. That game is crusty, which is really funny considering that there's almost none of it is, actually like fully rendered out.
But no, I finished Reggie's book. It's pretty good. It's not like, I wouldn't recommend it if you're just like, I'm a gamer and I want to know about. It's not like a Nintendo Insider tell-all book.
Right.
It's a book about here's what I learned from my career and my managerial style. Like, here are lessons that I learned working for all these different companies and how they affected my managerial style and what led to success in X, Y, and Z positions. So it's mostly like a let me teach you how to be good at business type book. But I still enjoyed it. And there was some pretty interesting stuff in there, both from some of his earlier jobs and from Nintendo. But one thing that did stand out to me was to be fair, I understand that it's a book, by him, about him, and he's trying to teach you how to be good at stuff. So the book is mostly about successes. Not completely, but it's mostly about successes. Like the Wii U is kind of breezed past. Of like, well, that didn't work.
Play the game.
That didn't work. But
we did get some really good sound bites out of him during that era, though.
He
was also a puppet at one point.
He was a puppet at one point. One of the things that
cool
he
guy.
talked
He did
about.
also punch Iwata in the face that one time.
One of the things he talked about is the concept of
brave.
Kyoto craftsmanship, which is basically like in Japan, that is where like traditionally a lot of the really high-skilled craftsmen worked. So there's like just an impression of things from Kyoto are the
Square Enix exists due to the high end.
Are the well-made, carefully crafted things that come from Kyoto. So we talked about it, Nintendo very much has that impression about themselves and the products that they make, that they really pride themselves on manufacturing. And I would say that that's pretty fair for most of the stuff that they make, which is why it really stands out to me that the Joy-Cons are such pieces of shit.
And they're like, no, it's not a problem.
No, it's not a problem.
You.
It never happened. And that they didn't take pride in fixing it is what kind of confuses me. But
I think it was because it was such an overwhelming success across the board that like they didn't want to see any like it's like how the whole Wii remote like wrist strap thing. It's like they technically fixed that. They technically added a wrist strap, but it was like the most piece of shit wrist strap ever, and it like barely worked.
Yeah, it was fine.
It did its thing. It never broke for me. It's fine.
Never broke for me.
Thoughts
either.
on the indie go-to contender blueprints? I have seen a little bit of gameplay of that. I'm like, yeah, that looks cool. And then I see people that have beaten it be like, this is the best thing I've ever played. So I don't know.
I'm just happy that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 even got nominated for Game of the Year, because it's at this point it's weird to say that a freaking Oblivion like immersive sim is like a niche product, but it is in this day and age. And that is like the best open world game I have played since Breath of the Wild by a wide margin. And it was so nice to play a game like that again, because I thought I had gotten to the point after like trying to get into The Witcher 3, trying to get into a bunch of other like open world games just over the last like 10 years since Breath of the Wild. Gosh, it's almost been 10 years since Breath of the Wild. But it's like I've bounced off of basically every single one I've tried to get into. I think I've just been so tired with the format. And just something about KCD2, it was like, no, this is awesome. This is exactly what I was looking for.
Well, it's because they made like a good game.
Well, yeah. It's also the longest piece of English anything.
Yes, it's the longest piece of English literature in existence.
Yeah,
the main character has it's the longest script. It's the longest performance by a human being.
And that's I am
Really?
so pissed. Even just a nomination. I'm so pissed. I forget the guy's name, the British actor who plays Henry, but like
It's
the
a
fact
snub.
he did not even get nominated for like voice
Is a
performance
strong
of the year.
indication that they need to
It's
create
ridiculous.
they need to probably create a supporting actor category. They probably need to split it by gender. Only having 5 nominees for best performance
Yeah.
is
I'm right there with you, KH Lover. Yeah, I really want it to be KCD2. I know it's going to be Expedition 33, and good on them. Like legitimately, everything I've heard about Expedition 33, I haven't played it yet, but like everything I've heard,
it's
yes,
good.
it's going to be a game of the year. That's fine. I wish it was KCD2, but it won't win. If I will say, if Ghost of Yote had been the 6th game over KCD, I would have rioted.
Is it not nominated for Game of the Year? It was nominated for narrative alongside
Yes,
KCD.
it was.
I
It
believe,
was not.
yeah.
It was. Everyone was saying that like the 6th slot, it was going to be between that and Ghost of Yote, and I was like, if Ghost of Yote gets it, I'm gonna be pissed. Like Assassin's Creed 25 gets it, basically.
Hades 1 is awesome, and I love that game. Hades 2 being on there feels weird because I get it that the game is fully released, but it's not. They're still working on it.
It's also
so
it's
like-
also one of those where I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I've played probably 15 hours of Hades 2. I haven't beaten it by any means. Like I've gotten to the I'm gonna guess first final boss. I don't know that, but I'm gonna guess first final boss.
Yeah, well-
I've gotten to the first final boss, and I have not beaten it yet. And so like, I don't have a full frame of reference. I will be clear on that. And I never got the true ending in Hades 1, but like, there's nothing. It feels much more of a sequel in like the PS2 mold than like a sequel in like the AAA. We're going to make something completely different mold.
Sure.
But it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just surprised that it was nominated for as much stuff as it was, given that kind of just very much iterative sequel status. It's not like Silk Song, where it feels like,
Well,
oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
they took 15 steps forward.
No, I haven't played or watched anything for it because like it was like a few weeks ago they added a new ending and they added like new dialogue all the way up to it. So it's like they're clearly not finished with the game yet. So
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of weird that it's there.
I
because
think
it's
one of the interesting
fully released or whatever.
one of the interesting elements this year is that there's always like in the best indie game category, one of them will be nominated for Game of the Year, and it's like, well, I wonder which game is going to win
Yeah, exactly.
the indie category this year. This year,
There's 2 of them.
no, there's 3.
Oh, there are 3.
Yes.
Yeah, because Silk Song, Hades 2, and Expedition 33.
Yeah, and there's
which
some-
Expedition 33 being labeled an indie
There's
game
been
is
some
a
debate.
bit sus.
Come on.
There's been some
No,
debate
yes,
over
it is.
if it should be there.
Are you
It's
kidding me?
it's only sus because AA doesn't exist anymore. Once AA gets reestablished, then whatever.
It's a weird one because it's an independent studio. 30 employees is a decent amount of employees, and also a ton of outsourcing. Like there was a lot of money behind
Dude,
that.
I
don't know
also
how
I
much it
didn't
should be
sorry
counted
sorry
as
to
an
go
indie
back
game.
to KCD for a minute.
Yeah.
I had no idea because like obviously with what's it called, with Expedition 33 there was a lot of talk of like, oh, they'd never made a game before, which was also a bit fuzzy there of like that's kind of not fully true, but I didn't realize with KCD1 that was a staff that had never made a game before and they chose CryEngine. The fact that that game even
crazy.
ran at launch
Yeah.
is insane. Because
It ran-
that one was
it ran-
also a team of like 30 people.
It ran Joshua because Henry
Well, it barely.
is a good lad.
It barely ran. That's the thing. That
exactly.
game was
the,
like
the
that
amount
game,
that it ran was only because Henry is a good lad.
It was New Vegas at launch levels. Of
Oh,
like,
no.
broken. Like that was why that game had kind of a negative reputation when
I
it
do
launched. It
remember
was
that.
like, oh, it was like
People were like, "This game's pretty cool, but it's busted."
it was like the new Eurojank like centerpiece.
Yes.
Was this one is bad, and then I played it in 2020, and other than a DLC glitching some stuff out,
Yes.
and then I immediately basically there was a thing where if you started a DLC, you couldn't beat the game because like the character you would select to or like you would talk to
What's
to
up,
initiate the
Psycho?
final quest was also the initiator of the DLC, and it was like it like overlapped, and it was like that option wasn't there, so you had to turn off the
funky.
DLC in Steam. And then it was like, then you could beat the game.
Gross.
Beyond that, there were like no major glitches when I played it. And then I fixed that for all future playthroughs because I just disabled the DLC until after I won. But that was one where I can't believe the amount they actually fixed based on like what I heard about the game in 2017.
Yeah,
And then it was like by 2019, almost everything had fixed itself. Well, not itself, obviously.
This
You know?
doesn't have anything to do with video games, but every time I look at my phone, I'm reading chat. It says I have 0 XP. What the fuck does that
Yeah, I
mean?
don't know either. That's a new loyalty
Dean,
system.
Does it
Dean-
know I'm a gamer and it's
Dean,
making fun of me?
you're right.
They
you're
are
right.
slowly trying to catch up with Twitch's
Yeah,
chat
they're trying to be like
functionality.
Twitch.
Awesome. Cool. Good
Dean,
luck with
you're
that.
absolutely right that modern sequels are just the same game. I more just mean in the style of like for a super giant game, I'm expecting a lot more. I'm expecting it to be a lot more. There's a reason why I was so
Can't sing the
disappointed
race.
with Tears of the Kingdom was specifically because I expected it to be an iterative sequel, but like not. But in a way where it actually felt like it was iterating rather than doing the same thing again with a DLC like tacked onto it. And I don't know, based on what I've played of Hades 2 so far, it's a bit closer to that Tears of the Kingdom mold than like a Silk Song mold is all I meant. And that was a bad analogy. I shouldn't have said PS2.
But yeah, what does everybody else want to talk about? Joey has to go in a few minutes.
I have
Yeah,
to
he
go in
does.
like 10 minutes,
Yeah,
guys.
but so if you
right.
guys want something you want to hear Joey talk about,
wanna hear
hit him with it now. Then
Wanna hear
Joshua
my
and I will
opinion
hang
on
out.
nonsense and stupid stuff.
Joshua and I will hang out for another hour until the FF7 playthrough resumes. It is the
Yay.
end of the Wall Market arc. Anybody who's played the game already knows, and you've been pissed off for a year that the next episode hasn't come out. It's still just me and Aiden, actually, so it's funny that Aiden's not here for this. But next episode is just me and Aiden wrapping up Wall Market, and then hopefully we will continue with one episode a week, unless there's something else. My hope is that we can get back to. Obviously, I just got a lot of the Tactics episodes out in rapid succession, and I think I'll try to do that whenever we do streams that we chop up into episodes. Like when we get to Undertale, that was supposed to start already, but we, for reasons I'm not going to get into, just work stuff, I had to leave town pretty unexpectedly, so didn't happen on the schedule that I thought it would, but Undertale streams will still happen eventually.
I might actually be able to make it to one of them.
Possibly.
It's
Jacob
only
doesn't
been
want me to do
10
my
years since
Metaton
it
voice because
released.
it's too good.
And we're going to try to get out either a video or if we're going to stream in a given week, we might not release a video. This is just to keep things sane for me. But try and release at least one thing. And FF7 starting up again. I have no idea when Uncharted 4 will start up again. I've got a lot of work to do. It's hard for me. Even just this last 2 weeks, I've been like, I'll get these Tactics episodes banged out real quick. And the episode 6, the last part of the second stream, still ain't out yet.
And then there's the secret playthrough. And then also we have the secret playthrough and then the secret playthrough.
Yes.
Where we
right,
play
at this
Sonic
point?
Battle for the Game Boy.
Yes, for the
Dude,
game.
honestly,
we could do that now.
If we did a
by the way.
Oh, yeah, we
Gizoid-centric
could.
playthrough,
Without even
Every
emulating,
playthrough
you
is a
could-
Gizoid-centric playthrough.
Without even
It's the first
emulating
Gizoid-type
it, we could use
playthrough.
the analog pocket, and you could bring your copy of Sonic Battle if you
true.
still have it, and we could play it.
It's true.
I
but
won't, but we could do it. I'm just saying we could. I'm dangling that in
could
front of
do
you.
it.
I'm dangling that
I'm
possibility.
sending. I want to see how much XP I get for sending one single message in chat.
YouTube EXP.
I got 25 XP for
It's so
sending
dumb.
one single.
Because at least on
What?
Twitch, you can spend the channel points on rewards. On YouTube, they're useless. No,
but you
Dean.
win. You
Those-
look better. Look
It
at my
makes
look.
you
At,
look
I
like
got
you're an
gamer
ultra
score.
fan.
I got gamer score on Frustrated Jacob live, dog.
You, the
did.
fan.
Or research runs live.
the big
Okay,
fan
but
man,
is it
man.
is it dependent on how big the text is, or is
I
it
don't know.
just?
Let's find out. Type a little creepypasta that's longer and see if you get
Well,
more EXP.
I've sent something even shorter.
Write Liam's story about
don't-
Square and
That didn't. Oh no.
Nintendo's
Okay, yeah.
romance.
That gave me 25 XP again. So it seems every every message is that.
Ruby Knights asks, "Hey
Oh.
Joey, are you playing Kirby Air Riders?"
I don't have a Switch 2, so I'm not playing Air Riders. As fun as it looks.
Joshua and I intend to acquire a Switch
We've been
2
intending to
presently.
acquire a Switch 2 for like 4 months and
We
just
haven't
haven't
gotten
done
around
it.
to we intend to acquire a Switch 2 shortly, and perhaps near Christmas time, when I'm back here again, you might see Air Riders stream
Or a
just so that
banana.
Joey can enjoy it and then not be able to play it.
Yeah,
Or we could do
exactly.
bananas.
Or we could do banana.
I can taste the forbidden fruit and never be able to do it ever again.
Banana.
Kirby Air Riders is that's still. There's a few games that I'm like mad that I never actually owned, and that was one of them because I just rented it a ton. It's like Sonic Adventure 2, I rented a ton, but eventually I bought it. But like Air Riders, I played it a ton and I never owned it.
Broker Lower says, now that I have
Stupid.
Joey's attention, I must say one of my favorite quotes from the KH playthroughs was when you nonchalantly say, "Oh no, I'm not racist." I
No, it
forget
says
the
it, oh no,
context.
I'm racist.
Oh no, I'm racist. Okay, my bad. I
No.
forget the context, but the delivery was perfect.
Oh.
I hear you're racist now, Father.
Oh, jeez.
Is this the official position of the clergy?
Josh, do you remember when
getting-
that was said in the KH playthrough?
I haven't rewatched those since I think senior or junior of college.
No,
which
I was just curious.
3 or 4 years ago at this point.
We're
'Cause
getting canceled.
It's hard, despite having, we taping them and then editing them, when it's your thing.
You don't go back and watch them.
Well, it's not even that you don't go back and rewatch them. It's like, people write a book or make an episode of a TV show and people go, oh my god, I love that part. You're like, I don't remember. It's because when you are working on it, when you're working, you're not making memories in the same way as I'm watching a thing and I'm enjoying it. People are like, I loved that part. I have no idea what you're talking about. You did it. You were there. I don't know.
I do what? I've been doing things for 30 years.
Yeah, I do a lot of things.
I don't know very much. I don't remember a
y'all
whole
are
lot.
old.
My favorite
I
quote
know,
from
it
Joey,
sucks.
says Dean, is, quote, I like my... Oh, this is also my favorite.
this is the best one.
I like
What
my
is it?
coffee like I like my men. I don't really like it, but every 2 years or so, I give it a shot to see if my opinion has changed, which is from the Alan Wake playthrough.
Was it?
Yeah, that's from the
Okay.
Alan Wake playthrough.
Okay, I forgot I said that, and then the one time you came over to movie night, you told on me, and I was like, I forgot I said
It was one
that.
of the funniest things I've ever
It
heard.
was really funny.
What can I say? It is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have I talked about me saying it is what it is. How that's become that's become my catchphrase.
I apparently I picked that up.
You don't
from
say it a lot around here.
No,
Yeah,
I
but-
don't. But I said it
At work enough that
apparently,
it's a
I say it
catchphrase
so
now.
much at work that now now something will go wrong and people will look at me and go, "It is what it is."
Sorry, Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, so our dad had a similar thing happen at multiple jobs where his catchphrase became "It is what it is." Apparently,
Really?
Yeah, I'm guessing you didn't know about that, Jacob.
I
but
think you might have mentioned it to
yeah,
me
no,
sometime.
and I started picking it up because our dad says that phrase a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember I had one of our more distant relatives bought me a mug one time that just says "It is what it is," and she was like, "Cause you say it so much, isn't it funny?" I was like, "Do I?
Okay.
Maybe."
So
If you're watching this, I'm sorry. That was not meant to
do
throw
I
shade.
have
I
one
just
of
I
those?
remember we had this conversation when you gave me the mug, so I was like, I didn't think I said it that much.
So to go even further at work, it's become such my catchphrase that for Halloween there was a costume contest. I didn't participate because I don't have a costume or anything. But the lady that won came in dressed as me because she put on a cap. She hand wove a beard, like a wool beard.
Hell
and she
yeah,
had
brother.
a shirt that said "It is what it is."
Was it a Steelers cap?
No, it was not.
I know that's past Joey. That was like 10. That was
The-
like 5-10 years
the
ago,
passion,
Joey.
the passion I once held for the Steelers is still there, of course. You know how much I love football.
Oh man,
but
you know you love sports
I
ball.
I would have to find another hat. I got a friend that lives up there. I can just.
I
he
should
said he's 10
I should
minutes
get
from
you
the
a
stadium.
Steelers hat for your birthday.
Well,
just bring it back.
He lives like 10 minutes from the stadium. He said he'd just pick me up one sometime, so I may have to get in
Rule,
on
because Broker Lower said yours and Nico B KH playthroughs are bi-yearly or even yearly watch. That and Breaking Bad and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's high praise.
And-
Holy crap.
And
Goodness gracious.
Rurthlow101 says the KH playthroughs are peak. I'd be fine with an overly critical remind watch. Yeah, but it's not fine with me though.
I've never. You know what I will say. I was gonna bring this up to you some other time. I would be perfectly happy if you and I streamed it sometimes, because I've still never seen Remind. Because you were like, "It shit's rough, bro. You don't want to see it." I would be
pretty
happy with that because at this point
Pretty
you
cringe.
have mentally prepared me enough to where like I would be like, "Oh, this ain't so bad."
Well, yeah, for sure. At this point,
Like at this point, it's such a white whale. Like I'm sure I'd be fine, and that would just be a fun thing to talk about. Of like, because me and Joey were actually talking about before we really started. We were talking about the fact that like both of us are like I wouldn't say we're out on Kingdom Hearts, but like both of us were kind of like we were super invested, and then 3 happened, and we were both kind of disappointed. Now it's like if 4 is good, great, but like I'm not I'm not emotionally invested in 4 being great. You know what I mean?
for me, the big thing is it's like even like 4 will probably come out, but it's like it feels like the journey, for all intents and purposes, the journey is over.
Xehanort
Because
saga has ended,
You know,
bro.
we spent years going through the entire franchise, and I was completely out, and then I got in from the ground floor.
Yeah.
And 3 was the end of the saga.
Yeah.
So it's just like I just don't have like any enthusiasm about 4 because for all intents and purposes that part of my life is done.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
It's like sure, like it'll be there and I'll probably play it and we'll talk about it or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's like it's not.
It'd have to be really good for me to get Like I'd
Like,
have to hear
all the way
I'd have to
back
hear
in.
people
Yeah.
saying like, "Oh no, dude, actually, it's
Yeah.
really good."
But
For me
it's
to be
like-
like, "Okay, yeah."
it's just-
Otherwise, I'll wait for a price
It's
drop.
like for
I don't care
me,
that much.
it's just like completely different. Like y'all grew up with it and whatnot. But for me,
Kinda.
it
It
really
was-
was like
that was a-
He
this
kind of
is-
grew up with it. I didn't get into it until I was a teenager.
Yeah, because that was the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Jacob got
well
into
more
it.
so than me, obviously.
yes.
It was like the period from like 2008 to like or 2007. 2007 to like 2012 was when we really got into Kingdom Hearts. And I just remember like DDD happened and I thought it was very, very bad, and I beat it first. And it was, I'm not saying that to like brag.
We
but it
need
was,
to
like,
go back to DDD so that I can do the animal racing mechanic in it.
This is true.
I beat
because
that.
obviously we blitzed through that because 3 was coming
I
out.
beat that, and that conveniently was like a year before I started getting really into like Zelda. Zelda and Paradox games became like my big things.
Yeah.
Like maybe a year to 2 years later.
Yeah.
That was kind of where my focus really shifted, and it was like y'all doing the playthroughs was what kind of got me back into it because I was just through osmosis. You know, I was in the room watching it a lot of the time. I was the one you were hearing cough and things like that in the background of KH1 because I was too stupid to be participating back in those days. But also it was like that got me back into it because it reminded me why I loved it. And then it was like, and then KH3 happened, and I was like, that was not bad, but like the middest thing I've ever seen, and like I really don't like I don't know how I feel about this going forward. And so it's a weird feeling now with KH because it's like I kind of had 2 eras with it, and now I'm kind of back in the not necessarily apathy stage, but like I don't care about it as much.
Anybody have a final question or comment for Joey before he has to get out of here? He needs to leave. So if anybody has something for him, there's some other stuff in chat that I'll respond to. There's some stuff in chat that I'll respond to, but if anybody's got anything for Joey, hit
I've
him
got
now.
to go to movie night where I can watch a movie called Twice Dead. Don't know anything about it. Not really looking forward to it, but maybe it's good.
Hit Joey. You guys got 60 seconds
But,
to give him something interesting. Go ahead.
Or not interesting for that matter.
Well, I mean, if it's
Doesn't
interesting,
really matter
my
that
point is if
much.
it's not interesting, he's just gonna leave.
He's just gonna leave.
But yeah, the only to conclude the Kingdom Hearts talk, all it is like it's like no, especially knowing that we're not gonna go gung ho into 4 is like that.
Joey Dab. That's what sounds.
But
Oh God.
whoa,
We really are going back to the start of the KH1
watch
playthrough.
that
We're going
arm.
way back.
But no, it's like I don't know. Like
Shout
for
out
me,
YouTube
Kingdom Hearts
Rewind
is completely synonymous with coming over here and recording and talking about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, with that not being the case in 4, and even if
No,
we're going to do it, it's still
I
not the
won't.
same. But it's like there was so much energy and fire and passion for going through the entire franchise for all that time that it's like, it wasn't just like playing a game. It was this unique experience in my life because, I mean, we'd done playthroughs, but nothing so focused
Absolutely.
like that.
Absolutely.
So it's like, anything that comes afterwards is just like kind of a neat little thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because again, like that was part of why I don't want to release the Remind, because it was like, well, we weren't having fun really, and it's like that's like if I heard from people who I trusted who have similar opinions to the series as me, and they were like, KH4 is actually really good, return to form, and then I'd be like, hey Joey, how do you feel about taping it? But if it was like, it's kind of mid, it's repeating a lot of the same mistakes, like I wouldn't want to shoot a playthrough where we were just saying bitching about the exact same stuff we've been bitching about,
Right.
For like the 3 games.
And it's like,
Yeah.
if 4 comes out, it's like, I wouldn't mind even like doing like a stream of it or whatever. It just, we wouldn't be, like you were going through it like very methodically back in the day.
Yeah.
But it's like, we wouldn't really be doing that.
Yeah.
If it was just like a casual thing, I could see us doing that and having fun with it.
Amber or Hyper Ami Nanashi says, Joey, do you look forward to any new Sonic stuff?
Is there any new Sonic stuff?
I think they're just like, do
Eventually.
you have the ability to
Do
look
I have
forward
the
to new Sonic
ability?
stuff?
After playing Frontiers, I'm like, that game, like, they tried out some new stuff, but most of it stuck. So it was fun. Of course, we always complain about Sonic is always
Reinventing itself.
They're always reinventing themselves and throwing out the stuff that works. But it's like, I don't know that I could ever get the intense passion that I had before, but I could definitely look forward to it. I still plan on getting the Cross Worlds Racing and stuff, but I don't know.
Crossroads Racing looks really good.
It does, but it's just one of those things. It's like if a cool, good Sonic game comes out, I'll play it. But I think, well, obviously I'm 30 years old now, and so much of my life has been Sonic being bad that it's more of like I don't know I don't want to say the passion's not there. It's just like I guess it's just not as important to me anymore.
I think
It's gonna be
Shadow.
great.
I think Shadow Generations is honestly one of the best Sonic
Yeah,
games
that rocked.
they've maybe ever made.
Yeah, and
period.
I guess maybe if
was
Sonic
really good.
games started really, like, if it was banger after banger, which, I mean, Sonic or Shadow Generations came out right after Frontiers.
If
and both those
Frontiers
were
is
good.
if the next game is Frontiers 2 and they actually just learn and it's just they file off all the rough edges from
Yeah.
Frontiers and then they also just make another game in the Generation style of the level of quality of Shadow, then yeah, sure.
I think a lot of it is also, aside from like just growing up as a gamer. What I mean by that is like we were talking last time I came over. We were talking about like Fallout 4, and I was talking about how much of an idiot I used to be about Fallout, and I was so excited about. It's like I don't have that that illusion of grandeur of the games industry anymore. It's like I understand too much now and have seen too many games come out, and I don't know. It's like
I can't believe I let myself do that for U5. Like, I was so upset with myself for getting punked again. Granted, I didn't get punked because I didn't spend a cent on that game, but I was like actually excited for it. I was so mad. I'd finally gotten over it. I didn't get excited for like Civ 7. I didn't get that excited for Tears of the Kingdom because I kind of had a feeling.
Yeah.
Like I'm not excited for the new Layton because I'm afraid it's going to suck.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even that excited for KH3. Not as a channel thing I was, but like as like a just, you know, me enjoying it, I was like, we'll see.
Is Frontiers worth buying on sale right now? I mean, if it's pretty cheap and you're interested in it, yeah, it's a good game. It's definitely worthwhile. And it's more worthwhile now than it was when I played it because they've added a lot of new stuff to it. I kind of want to go back sometime.
Broker Lower Joey absolutely gets that. If I say, if only we could see her take wing, would you get it?
Of course he would.
Of course we would. What, do you think we're idiots?
We could play in the Himalayas for hours.
You think we're uncultured morons who wouldn't get that?
Oh my gosh, she's the size of an average human mother.
All right, one more question for Joey, then he's gotta leave. One more question
I
for
forgot
Joey.
about that one.
You guys got like 15
How
seconds.
could you forget about? I say, how could you forget about it? That's my personal favorite.
That's
so
that's a really good one.
I need to watch that video before.
What
I go
a
bed
price to
tonight.
pay.
15 seconds, one question for Joey, then he's gotta leave.
But no, I don't know. It's just like it's harder to get excited. It's not hard. How do I say this without it sounding pessimistic? I'm like
You're just
I guess
more jaded.
It's not even about familiarity with
even
industry.
that,
When you
it's-
get older, your wanderlust reduces because you've seen more stuff.
yeah.
If you
I guess that's
if
the
you
thing.
see a redundant piece of art when you are 7, when you haven't seen the source material, it seems like the most magical thing in the world.
Yeah.
When you see a redundant piece of art when you are 30, it doesn't hit the same way.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess it's just. I guess the things that I liked about Sonic kind of changed a long time ago. Because, I mean, you have to think about it. It's like, my favorite Sonic game and one of my favorites ever is Sonic Adventure 2. And it's like that's not even the same style of games that we get anymore. And I'm
No,
not saying
because
that they
you and I
should
are the
be.
same in the way that we both have our own styles we won't change.
Yours
And
is
then they
evil.
change their
No,
style
it's not.
constantly.
But I don't know. But it's like, I'm trying to think. It's like, I was about to say, it's like, I don't even know what could come out that would make me that excited anymore. But it's like, I think back to when Remnant from the Ashes 2 was announced. And I
KCD2 is the-
actually jumped out of my chair because I was so excited. So that
KCD2
stuff is
was the
still
one for
there.
me recently where I got that excited when it actually got announced and it was coming out that year.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you're
Or
like,
within a year.
well, it's like when Nier Automata got announced and people were like, "There's never going to be another Nier."
Right.
You know, it's got to be one of those. So like, oh, I loved that, but there will
Well,
never
it's-
be
and
another
that was
one.
the same reason. I think it was because it was post KCD2, and KCD2 was obviously like beginning of the year, and I really enjoyed it. And it was like EU5 was another one where it finally it had been like, it was obvious it was coming for a while, but then it, you know, gets announced this year, coming out this year, and I was like, maybe we'll go 2 for 2. Two
Yeah.
of my favorite games. Maybe we'll go 2 for 2 with the sequels being really good. And then it was like, oh yeah, okay, I shouldn't have gotten my hopes up that much.
Yeah, I need to be excited by particular artists, I think, at this point. The way that
Yeah,
people
that's
used to
fair.
get excited because Todd Howard walked on stage.
Yeah.
Like, I need Hideo Kojima to walk on stage. I need Yasumi Matsuno to say, I'm going to write a video game
Dude,
again.
if he did that, I would pop off.
Or even other people, like, you know, like Tim Schafer shows up and says, hey guys, it's me, Tim Schafer, I got a new game. I'm
You're like,
yeah,
oh.
Yeah, I'll play
Well,
that. I'll play that
for,
Tim
For me,
Schafer.
Josh Sawyer is the other one like that.
Sure.
Where If Josh Sawyer was like the head writer on something, because he wasn't head writer on Outer Worlds 2, was he? He was just like a co-writer.
No, I'm pretty sure he was busy. I think he was the head writer on Pentiment though, right?
Yes.
Am I wrong? Yeah.
That's
so.
the last thing he made. That
Yeah.
was like a Josh Sawyer joint. That was
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. Like at this point, I've hit a threshold where a cool new trailer, even with exciting gameplay, probably doesn't get my attention as much as seeing a name. Even like Miyazaki, that's because there's a certain brand value associated with that at this point.
Sure.
Maybe not as exciting as it used to be because now there's a rhythm. We
Wait,
kind
you
of
don't-
know,
you don't
know
feel
what a
that way?
Miyazaki game is
You
going to look
don't-
like.
you don't
Well, you
feel
say
that
that,
way
and
when-
then Night Rain came out, which
Sure.
that was. I guess that wasn't a Miyazaki game, but I don't know. You know the game's going to come out. It's going to have cool combat. There's going to have one NPC with extremely modeled feet for some reason, and
That's going to be
it's
the
gonna
last
Game
thing
of the
Joey
Year.
says on this stream.
That's
It's
right.
extremely
Now Joey
modeled
has to
feet.
leave.
And I
Talking
have to
about
leave.
feet.
That's
Joshua
it.
and I will be back in just a minute, but we're going to see Joey out,
Yeah.
and we're going to hang out for another
sounds good.
50 minutes until it's time to dance.
Wow. Take
To
it easy,
dance again. I've been waiting all these years to dance again. Okay, let's get out of here.
Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Talk to y'all later.
Joey said talk to y'all later,
Talk to
and I
y'all
cut him
later.
off. Bye. The hand thing is that's specifically the
Hat Kid one is the one you were doing.
yeah,
I was
that's-
doing the Peanuts one, so it was different.
No, that's fine. I was just saying because I'm literally doing the because that's the dance she does in the official
Yeah, I
upload
know.
of this track to the
Yeah, I know.
to the channel. Yakuza Metro is genuinely that
I
one
know.
DLC.
I still need to play Hat in Time.
Is better than some real whole ass video game.
Well, I would hope so. That's true of a lot of DLC, Jacob.
I love Yakuza Metro.
Civilization,
It's so
the
amazing.
Civilization 5 with the Brave New World, expansion pack.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the greatest game ever made. So
Did I tell you about talking to my one friend about Law and Order SVU?
no.
She watches a lot of Law and Order SVU, not
no.
necessarily because it's good. And
no.
and we were talking about like how how it's all ripped from the headlines stuff.
Yeah.
And she was starting to talk about there's one particularly infamous episode in the fan base. And I was like, I wonder if she's about to say it was when Gamergate happened. I was like, yes, that one broke containment. I know about that episode.
I hear it's even better than Civ 5 with
the Brave New World expansion pack.
Isn't the game like an RTS?
I hear it's better than Civ
Stop.
5 with the Brave New World expansion pass. Apparently, Ice-T is like... So he said, I'm not leaving that show until whatever the lead actress
Until I die?
is. No, he's basically said, as long as she keeps doing the show, I'll keep doing the
Got
show.
you.
But either his schedule is busy or he's lazy. In the very
Legend.
first episode of this season, he gets beat up and his gun is stolen, and he's been on leave for
Legend.
like 8 episodes straight.
As
he's-
he
So
should
he's been
be.
in like one scene per episode of like just him sitting in his house watching Love Island. I'm not kidding.
That's great.
And then there was a really funny like Ice-T tweeted because he accidentally banged up his finger.
Yeah.
Like in real life. It's
Yeah,
like,
of course.
ooh, shit. Like one of his fingers was like black.
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
his fingernails was black and blue. So I texted my friend like, let me know if Ice-T this week on SVU comes in with like, oh shit, some perp slammed a finger in the door.
That'd be awesome.
Alright, I'm pretty sure it's doing that thing where it's glitching out. So I'm pretty sure it just played that track.
Well, that's a better track anyway. See, but I hate that they play this track whenever Ishtola shows up in freaking FF14, because I hate Ishtola, but I love this track. I'm kidding, Ishtola's fine. She's just
fine.
boring as all crap.
She's fine. She's fine. She exists at there's a nice,
She's
acceptable...
like a nice pill of Ambien.
Well, no, I was gonna say that we have so much, like, that would be a, you would want the threshold of good writing in FF14 is so good that it's hard to find like a genuinely bad character.
Yes,
because
that's
even
fair.
the bad characters quotation marks are still like well enough written. You're like, I can watch this cutscene.
Unless
and
it's
get
a
through
Realm
it.
Reborn, then there's some
Unless
bad
it's a Realm
characters.
Reborn, then there's some bad characters. Then there's also characters who's like, this is fine,
Yeah.
but you should have been executed for war crimes. And every time you show up, I'm kind of thinking about how you should have been executed for war crimes.
I wonder who we could be talking about.
this is a fine
Stormblood
scene.
is a mixed bag.
You're well written. You're well written. You're well performed. Like it's like you're a fine character, but you really should have been executed for war crimes.
It would be funny.
You don't like the most popular character, says Circo Duck? I don't get the hype, but I have hope for her.
I mean, if they stop giving her death fake outs, I'm guessing she would have more time for character development. We won't get into that again. But it is so funny how many times she
I've said
dies.
before, the Dissidia rep for that game
It should be Alpha No Alizé Ice
should be an
Climbers.
Alpha No Alizé
Yes.
Ice Climbers
Absolutely.
team, which would be amazing.
Alpha No and Alizé are now the mascots of that game. I
Yeah,
feel like.
but-
I feel like now most people who play the game know that,
Those are
and
their
like
favorite
even
characters, yeah.
Osmosis, like most people understand that it's those two.
Yes. Or
Um,
Tataru.
Or Tataru, who's the goat.
You put Tataru in and all of her moves are literally
Money.
throwing money at people.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Because throw Gil is a move in a lot of Final Fantasy
Yeah, it
games.
is.
So she's throwing money and like maybe
Dean,
her attacks
Dean,
are like
I
she
am,
summons the Scions.
Dean, I am an Endwalker right now. I have not played through all of 14. I'm slowly making my way through Endwalker.
And I've watched it multiple times. My character is only like most of the way through A Realm Reborn because I've watched the whole thing before, so my motivation to
Yeah.
play it for myself is somewhat low. But I've almost beaten A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
And then Joshua and I are on his account. We're almost
we're
finished with Endwalker.
not necessarily we're 2/3 of the way through Endwalker.
Mm-hmm.
We're at kind of the go down inning. We stopped right at the go down inning.
Yeah.
But
Joshua and I stopped.
we
basically-
don't need to get.
No, I was gonna say we stopped in the middle of a sequence where the game basically looks dead at the camera and says, "Here is the answer to every mystery that has
we've
been
set
happening."
up, yeah. And also, it's like,
yeah.
oh, so you think this expansion's been an 8 out of 10 and kind of not necessarily mediocre, but like not hitting the highs of like specifically Shadowbringers and Heavensward? Oh, you thought that? That's really funny. You thought that, you little bitch.
Bum, bum, do, 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 do. Bum, 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, episode. We're not going to do what I tried to do for the Uncharted 2 playthrough, because I tried to do like a pre-stream, and then there is functionality in YouTube to have a stream dump immediately into a video premiere.
Yeah.
And when I did that, it completely fucked the video up.
Oh, that's too bad.
Afterwards, the video was totally fine. But during the premiere, it was constantly lagging out and just like freezing for 30 seconds.
Jeez.
And then when it picked back up, it would be like, it wouldn't like resume from where it froze. And it was happening for everybody in chat. So we're not going to do that.
Maybe it won't be like the premiere that one time when like we were both sitting in the room like watching the premiere and you were like trying to comment things and it just wasn't working, and I'm like sitting there and I commented a couple of things with my secret account that no one knows what it is.
I tried to comment on the Kingdom Hearts 3 finale, and
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of,
only
yeah.
to find out that none of my comments
Yeah,
went
that
through.
was the one, and I commented a bit on that one. Granted, no one knows what my account is.
Yes.
But yeah.
But yeah, so back to Wall Market in about 30 minutes now. We'll just kill this stream maybe 5 minutes beforehand, and I will be in the chat on the next episode of FF7.
Yeah.
We'll probably do premieres for 1 or 2 more episodes of FF7 going forward, but I'm only premiering this one with live chat because it's been a year. It's an exciting episode, you know. It's a fan favorite moment, so people can hang out together and watch it together if they are so inclined, if they have the time. Baffling that Twitch live stuff is still so bad. Only reason Twitch is still around despite being horribly incompetent is because YouTube refuses to compete.
No,
at live
it
stuff.
really is. It's like I legitimately almost never watch things on Twitch, even for content creators that only stream on Twitch, because like I just hate Twitch. Like, to be honest with you, I hate watching streams on Twitch. It's the amount of ads is like painful. The actual like, especially if you're watching on mobile, the amount of the screen that the chat takes up, and it's like almost impossible to diminish it, and it's like the functionality barely works. It's painful. I don't know. I really don't like watching streams on Twitch. Granted, I don't watch many streams on YouTube for that matter. I don't watch a ton of streams, but like it's painful to watch streams on Twitch most of the time.
K-Hearts Lover says, Jacob, I'm curious about your thoughts on Running Man if you have seen it. It's kind of shallow, but kind of smart in a fun way.
I saw the original like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is more of a question for you, because I saw like maybe like a quarter of the original Running Man on cable years ago. I have not seen the new one. But you watched the
old
original
one.
recently.
The old one with Arnold is like, it doesn't quite reach the highs of like that golden age of Arnold movies, of like specifically like Commando and like the Terminator movies, where it's like,
That's what's so funny, because the Terminator movies are like actually good.
they're
but
actually
Commando,
good movies.
Commando does feel like he was making fun of himself.
Commando, he's making fun of himself, and it's incredible because it rides that line where you can't tell if it's self-aware or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
you cannot tell.
Yeah, it's not like Naked Gun levels of like, oh, it's just like, you're like, is this sincere?
And by
I
the
can't tell.
end, I'm gonna guess most audience members are gonna be like, yes, this is obviously him making fun of himself. That was definitely my takeaway. But it's like, it's close enough where you can't be sure, and it's like something about the Commando-esque like one-liners and stuff like that happen in The Running Man. It's like The Running Man is taking itself too seriously for that stuff to work.
Yeah.
In my opinion. as soon as Jim Brown shows up with like a flamethrower pack and they have like an elongated like fight sequence, it's like I don't know, man. It's hard for me to take it seriously. But I don't know, man. Running Man was still fun. I did enjoy that movie, but it was like that one was more just like a interesting concept, kind of like what they did. Commando's the goat of those 80s Arnold movies, though.
Yeah. But no, I have my own FF14 character, because Circo Duck talking about, we love watching folks play FF14 on Twitch, but every time I go to the site, it's immediate ads. Always think they'd get me if they played an ad like a minute or two into the stream.
Yes, exactly.
Put it at the start, and I'm just gonna click away.
And that's the reason I never go on Twitch, because it's like I might go on Twitch every now and then to see if like X person is live, right?
Yeah.
Like on occasion. There's only like a few people I follow
the way
that
the internet works is even the mature, non-brain rotted brain people are gonna go, if I can't get what I want immediately, I will click somewhere else.
Let's think cable. And I know probably there aren't a ton of people in here that are sports ball watchers besides me.
Sure.
But like specifically, if you're going to watch, let's say, college football, college basketball, or even the NFL, something where there's multiple games on multiple channels at a given time of day, right? That aren't like, regionally blacked out or things like that.
Commercial break is 3 minutes long.
Yes, and so if you turn on the TV and you're like, I want to watch X game featuring X team and like the team I follow,
but if
and
you
I
change
turn
that
on the
channel,
commercial, and no, if I turn on the channel and it's on a commercial, I go, I'll come back, and I switch
to
another game. That's just human nature.
It's only like that could have been the last commercial. Cable commercial breaks are not that long. 3 minutes. You could have waited 30 seconds and maybe had the game.
I'm blowing this out a lot, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's one of those where it's like, yeah, you
I want to see what this streamer's doing. Oh, I have to wait 90 seconds. I'll go look at something else.
Exactly. It's like I'd rather just watch a 20-minute YouTube video by this same content creator that's already there.
Yeah.
It's like
time the ads to happen 6 minutes after somebody starts clicking on a stream. Viewer retention would be much higher.
Yeah.
And you'd probably make more ad revenue ultimately. But yeah, regarding watching folks play FF14, I would love to do an FF14 playthrough, but the game's so big, it would consume my life. It would consume my life.
It would be such an undertaking.
Where is
you would have to stream it.
Where's Playframe at on that? I wonder.
I'm gonna guess
because unfortunately, Playframe's playthrough is the only type of playthrough I would want to do for 14.
He's through Stormblood, right?
Oh, he's way through Stormblood.
Oh, okay.
He was in Shadowbringers like a year ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to see where he is now.
He's going through that fast.
He's just uploaded a new Shadowbringers video.
Oh, so he's still in Shadowbringers
6 hours ago, but I want to see where he is in Shadowbringers.
I'm gonna guess near the end if it's on part 45 of Shadowbringers.
The Ryzen Song Players. I think this is a side quest.
Oh, well, yeah, it would be.
Yeah, he's doing side quest stuff. So I don't know where he is in the actual
that is the definitive playthrough, besides the fact that he picked a Lalafell.
Ishgardian Diplomacy. He's doing a bunch of Ishgard quests, even though he's in Shadowbringers.
I mean, they added a lot of Ishgard stuff in. Like that, I mean, for the job quests.
Yeah, he's doing job quests.
Yeah, for the job quests, specifically the role quests, like the last one, because I play Machinist. I know Machinist is technically correct, but shut up. I play Machinist, and it's one of those where, like, the last time that you've seen...
Why do you say that?
The last time you've seen the characters from the specific Machinist job quest in, like, the, now role quests...
Why must you say
was,
it that way?
I think, level 80. And like I've checked, and like even in like the post Dawn Trail stuff, unless it just happened, like they have not been seen again, because it's like now with the role quests, it's so hard to like keep so many plot lines going. Which really
technically, a bunch of those characters show up. Or did you just say where they show up in Endwalker briefly?
Well, that's what I just said.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at my phone.
I assume they maybe show up at the climax of Endwalker, like in like a Paper Mario way. But like,
I don't remember.
But like the last time they show up in a quest line is like for a role quest is like midway through. Or no, it's before. It's before
role quests are introduced. It's like a final. There's like a final check-in on how are those guys doing, because it's like, well, we got to phase these characters out. It's too many people. We can't keep writing it like this. All right, looks like he took a break from FF14 for he just came back to it like a week ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm gonna guess that when
he was doing that for like 3 years straight.
I'm gonna guess
that's how I got into it. I guess I think we've mentioned this before, but
Playframe is a channel run by the guy who does New Frame Plus, which is Dan Floyd. New Frame Plus is a great channel on video game animation. He has a Let's Play channel, and he does an edited, compressed playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV. It's a pretty good way to experience it if you want to experience it in a way that has respect for your time.
Yeah, Dean, I do not, you not getting into 14, yeah, props. Because honestly, it's one of those where the only reason
he hasn't done the Shadowbringers patches yet. A year ago he wrapped normal Shadowbringers.
Okay, that's why then. That makes
sense.
sense.
So now he's back doing job
That
quests.
makes sense. So the main reason I got into 14 was because of this playthrough, specifically because A Realm Reborn is just like not very good. It's just, especially the MSQ is just boring.
Main story quest is what MSQ means.
The MSQ is just boring. There's not a lot to it. I feel like every stream it's just you and me now, we just end up talking 14.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's MSQ is really boring, and it's just there's not a lot to it. And I watched this playthrough by Dan Floyd at Playframe, and he does it like you're talking about, Dean, where it's just story quest only, really.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna go through it mainline, and you can even like skip around it if you're really like that. Like there's a couple of parts where he's like, this next part's a bit not much to it, like specifically Company of Heroes.
He intentionally skips some parts that are super boring and gives recommendations on you could maybe watch this or you could skip it.
Like Dean, I would highly recommend, if you're saying you've gotten into A Realm Reborn or you've started A Realm Reborn like 5 times and never gotten through it, I would highly recommend, if you are actually still like considering going back to it, the way to do it is to watch the full Playframe playthrough and like watch it on like 1.5 speed.
Yeah.
And get through it, and then specifically watch the patches for A Realm Reborn. If you watch the patches for A Realm Reborn and you enjoy them, go ahead and mash through A Realm Reborn and play the MSQ.
And just skip all the cutscenes.
And just skip every cutscene, mash through the dialogue.
With a podcast on in the background.
And with a podcast on in the background, it's what I did during senior year of college, and that's how I got into it, and that was a couple of years ago. And I've made my way through the game very slowly. And that really helped because, yes, MSQ of Realm Reborn is just not very good. The patch cycles start to get good. They're not great yet, but they start to get good.
Yeah.
And then Heavensward happens, and Heavensward is freaking awesome.
Heavensward is one of the best Final Fantasy games ever.
Straight up. It's so good.
And Stormblood is a mixed bag of high highs and mediocre mids. And then Shadowbringers, I would say, is one of the best, I would say, traditional FFs. Heavensward is pretty different.
I'll put it
in
this
a way
way.
that I love.
Heavensward feels like, how do I put this? Heavensward feels like a mix between kind of what 14's already been doing and like FF12. And then I don't really know how to describe.
There's a very basic thing, because you and I were talking about it.
Yeah.
The tension in fantasy writing
Yeah.
between two extreme modes.
I actually really like this way of
two
describing
extreme
it.
modes, and then there's very rarely a thing in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, not rarely, but they appear in books sometimes.
It
but
doesn't
not in super
happen as
popular.
much.
You get either Lord of the Rings-esque. There is a bad guy, and he's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
Sauron, a character who never appears on screen.
You mean Sauron?
Sauron, excuse me.
Come on.
Sauron does appear on screen.
Saruman the Stinky.
No! Sauron, ultimate evil,
Yeah.
who never even appears on screen. It is just malevolently bad. And there are good guys who must stop the
bad.
ultimate force
Yeah.
of primal evil.
Exactly.
That's an extreme example, but you basically have good guys must beat bad guys.
And
you
that's
have-
a lot of fantasy plots.
that's one
you
fantasy
have-
segment.
And it's usually about saving the world. It's
And then
usually not
usually
limited
about
to
saving
like
the
a
world.
region or anything.
And then the other fantasy segment is grimdark, nihilistic, everything sucks, Game of Thrones adjacent material, where it tends to be about regional conflicts, interpersonal conflicts, and usually...
And there might be some good individuals, but there's really no side that is like, these are the good guys, and if there is, they all die.
And usually the whole world's kind of a sad sack mess.
Yeah.
But what is interesting about that section of the genre compared to this is that over here it almost always escalates to we must
Gotta
save the world, whereas over here the conflict can be this one dude is trying to kill the king.
Yeah.
Gotta stop it.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy usually exists in this mode, except for Final Fantasy 12.
12 is the only one, but 12 isn't grimdark, and this is the kind of the
That's-
magic
sorry,
third
the
spot.
middle spot.
The
yes.
magic third spot, which is we're going to have one or a few factions who are more gooder than the ones around them.
What if we wrote something that reads more like historical fiction, but there happens to be monsters?
Yes.
There's not a massive big bad who's trying to blow up the world, but also you have a bit of a lighter color palette, and I mean that both aesthetically and like emotionally.
And it's,
than
it's a
Game of
very
Thrones.
hard sweet spot to hit. I feel like there are stories that do it very well. To be honest, a lot of when I was talking with Jacob about this a few days ago is because I've been reading a lot of stuff that falls into either the former or the latter camp. I've been reading a lot more fantasy recently, and I feel like most of it is in one of those two extremes, and I realize it's like, I want to read more stuff like 12 or Tactics.
Yes.
And it's like, that's kind of been where my brain's been at. And Heaven's Word specifically hits that middle part of that lens, I feel like, really well.
Yeah.
And then Stormblood is kind of doing a similar thing. I don't think it works quite as well. Stormblood tries to do too much. To be fair, that's the main reason why I don't think it's as good as the other
Stormblood is
expansions.
extremely ambitious.
It's very ambitious. Basically, no spoilers, but it's like it's trying to handle multiple regional conflicts on like opposite sides of a continent. It's very hard for that to work.
Most of FF14 concerns individual normal characters who are not disproportionately superpowered or important.
Well, except for you.
Except for literally you. And even you, by the standards of, like, the importance of a Final Fantasy, like, later in FF14, you are the most important person on the planet, but early in FF14, you are much less important to the cosmic balance of things.
Even up until, I would
say,
like, end of Stormblood, even.
Yeah.
Like, you're still not really the most important guy in the world.
Yeah.
It's really only in Shadowbringers that you become the most important
like,
guy
I'm framing this from the perspective of, like, if we look at, for example, the PlayStation...
Or Gal, my bad.
If we look at the FF PlayStation trilogy, Cloud, I'm not gonna spoil anything for any of these games, but to keep it vague, Cloud from minute one is completely central to everything the main antagonist is trying to do.
Yes.
And in FF8, due to time travel shenanigans, Squall is completely central to everything that is going to happen in the story before the story even starts.
Same with 10. Even 9 to a certain extent.
Because you don't know as much about how 9 ends.
9 goes off the rails.
I was gonna say,
I know enough to know it goes off the rails at the end.
In 9, it seems like Zidane is just a dude who happened to be in the right place at the right time, and
I
later it turns out he's wildly important.
I knew that.
And then Final Fantasy X doesn't play coy about it. Pretty early on, Auron is like,
this is your story.
Auron says this is your story to his face, and then a few hours later, Auron is like, you are here because I need you specifically to kill one guy.
Meanwhile,
that's the reason you're here.
In 12, the main character is the guy, like, as separated from the plot. Like, Vaughn and Penella specifically are, like, the most, like, separated from the main plot of any Final Fantasy protagonists ever.
Contrast with FF14, which is mostly about, how do I put this? The conflicts that occur in FF14, if you stripped them of all magic, could plausibly be historical fiction set on Earth. They are mostly about regional conflicts, politics, and conventional warfare. That just happens to occasionally feature magic and dragons. In the background, there is an Organization 13 that is doing something we know of probably world-ending proportion, but they are frankly a distraction. One of the reasons that that Heaven's Word is so good is because they are not there.
It's so great.
Organization 13 is almost not there, and Organization 13 is literally gone for the entirety of Stormblood.
Heaven's Word is like the most...
They never show up.
It's as someone who... I know a lot of Final Fantasy fans don't like 12 specifically because it has, in their eyes, such lower stakes than a lot of the other games. And that's a fair critique given the fact that Final Fantasy, basically
has
in
a
every
brand
other game, as a brand...
the world.
Granted, they're forgetting Vagrant Story and they're forgetting FF Tactics, which are basically mainline Final Fantasy games with different formats. But all the Matsuno joints function a similar
Vagrant Story is debatable. But
Vagrant Story is debatable, but Tactics is basically mainline.
Yes, I would agree with that assessment, honestly.
And Matsuno games tend to fall into that same pattern. I would say Tactics Ogre is more grimdark, but, whatever. Heavensward, if you are like looking for that like kind of 12-esque, we are going to focus on a regional conflict with like understandable character motivations and reasoning for characters to be on multiple sides of a multinational and like multi-factioned conflict, and like most people are good people and people are just, you know, interpreting situations in different ways, and there's a lot of conflict because of that, while still having some really interesting villains. Heavensward is so good.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And when they do in FF14 decide, okay, it's time to be a storyline about saving the world, not only do they still hedge that in Shadowbringers in a regional political conflict, they also very wisely...
Dean, yes, it falls on the Game of Thrones side of the spectrum, since like 50% of the characters are just straight up plagiarized from Game of Thrones.
But then they also decide they want to save the entire planet, and it's a little thematically inconsistent.
Well, yeah. Oops. 16's not very good,
There's
folks.
gonna be...
At least in terms of story.
Yeah. But what I find really interesting about what FF14 eventually accomplishes...
It sucks that 16 isn't good, because it is the Heavensward writers.
Yeah.
And the Heavensward writers are awesome.
One of the things that that is very interesting about what 14 does when it gets to Shadowbringers... Again, I promise we're not spoiling anything here. Just talking we're talking about concepts. That game has a Organization 13 from minute 1, and it's extremely uninteresting because we don't know enough about what they're doing.
That's the main thing. I'm gonna guess, Dean, that you got to that, but like specifically like 5 hours in, like you kind of already know that that's like a force working behind the scenes, and it's like
who cares?
Like, why should I care about this?
Also, what's really funny is that when you find out what they are up to, the level of like
of who cares
of Spider-Man street level villainy that they're up to in A Realm Reborn is like, why the fuck were they wasting their time with any of that? But what they do that's very smart is you polish off a couple of Organization 13 members along the way. You kill a few of them. And when we finally get around to okay, let's explain what they're up to. Number one, what they're up to is actually interesting.
It's incredibly interesting.
And number two, they very wisely say in Shadowbringers, okay, you know what? Let's just make it one guy.
Yeah.
There's still like 7 of these dudes alive.
But let's
just make it one guy.
Yeah. Like, they don't run into the, and I say this as someone who loves this game, but they don't run into the KH2 problem.
Where it's really more just about cool design, cool lightsaber.
Pulls off the hood. Who are you again?
Cool design,
and
cool
where
lightsaber, cool boss fight.
Yeah,
they're like, what if we made one of these dudes an honest-to-God, legitimate character?
And it's because 14 isn't about the combat. Yes. At the end of the day, like, it's the MMO combat, unless you're doing the raids and you're really taking, like, the super, ultimate level raids seriously, FF14 is not about the combat, and so they don't... They can't make the Organization 13-esque, guys in that. They can't make those guys just, what a cool lightsaber.
There is a tremendous amount of time in Shadowbringers spent with the main character literally having casual conversations with the main antagonist.
Yes, you're right. It's not just one guy. It is multiple people. However, for all intents and purposes, for most of Shadowbringers...
No, it's one guy.
We are worrying about one guy.
You don't see a single other Ascian.
Yes, some other ones show up later.
You don't see a single Ascian for the entire run of Shadowbringers other than the one guy. There are 2 times you cut away and see what Elidibus is up to, but he doesn't really matter.
Jacob, spoilers. You can't say their funny names.
I said a guy named Elidibus. You see him, there's 2 cutscenes where you see what he's up to.
Say Eli.
And the answer is that he isn't up to much.
Yeah, he's kind of just standing in the corner.
I mean, he was trying, to be fair, he's doing stuff.
Yes, he is.
And then in the patches of Shadowbringers, again, you deal with 1 member of Organization 13, and that's it, unless you count the Eden raid, which I'm not, because it's optional. They completely dial in, and they say, here's one guy with a clear personality and motivations, and you spend time learning about him, and that makes it work.
Yeah.
And then even in Endwalker, which is about, as big of a big scale.
It's
like,
Avengers Endgame.
Well, I just mean in terms of like, saving the world.
Well, yes.
It's about the biggest save the world storyline it could be, and even then
they find like little regional stories to tell that are still really compelling.
half of it is concluding the ongoing storylines of regional conflicts.
Like honestly, no, it's really interesting because a lot of the problems that I always get these two confused because they both start with S.
Yeah.
But a lot of the problems that Stormblood specifically has of being like of having too much going on and trying to do too much, they kind of fix in Endwalker.
Yeah.
Because they go, we left too many threads at the end of that.
Yeah.
We kind of need to resolve that before we deal with the big Organization 13.
What if we had
big
all
plot.
of those things we were doing dovetail into one singular military action?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and they actually do a really good job of both dealing with, the kind of smaller scale regional conflict and the big Lord of the Rings-esque, world-ending thing.
Yeah.
They're able to deal with both in the same expansion.
Yeah.
And at least, granted, I haven't finished it yet, but they've kind of finished the regional part.
I
of
think
it where
I think it's masterful.
I think it's working insanely well with where I'm at, and he's already watched it, so he knows. Speaking of, 14 music, what a good song.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, FF14 pretty good. Hard to get into.
Yeah.
Admittedly.
Yeah,
it is
Dean,
saddled
watch
with
that playthrough at 1.5 speed or even 1.75 and slow it down if there's anything that you find interesting. If not, keep plugging away at 1.75 speed. Watch the patches, or at least the patch cutscenes legit, and then if you're interested, mash through the entirety of A Realm Reborn.
Or just watch
it does
people
not
play.
matter.
Find a streamer you like who's done highlight compilations, or just do. What I did was found a streamer that I liked, and I mostly just would fast forward I would scrub in the YouTube timeline to where dialogue was.
Dean, people didn't like Dawn Trail because it's a de-escalation. For the most part.
There are a lot of reasons to, because I know you haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
I like Dawn Trail a lot. I think that there were two big problems with Dawn Trail. Well, there were a couple things that I didn't like about it.
I'll put it this way. It's also, based on everything I've heard from the fandom, I have not finished Endwalker yet.
Yeah.
However, based on what I would say about these expansions, right? A Realm Reborn by itself is like a 4 out. It's a 5 out of 10. Mm-hmm. It is the epitome of a 5 out of 10. Then Heavensward is like a 10.
Yeah.
Stormblood is like an 8.
Yeah.
For me, Shadowbringers is like a 9 to a 9.5. And then, so far, Endwalker for me. Granted, we're getting to the stuff that's super interesting, but, so far, it's been a 9, and from what I hear, the ending is a 10. And then, it's so if Dawn Trail is a 7, because it's not trying to do as much, it's going to feel like a disappointment.
This Dawn Trail changes up the format so much. Not necessarily in terms of playing it, but in terms of narrative structure, because Final Fantasy XIV is structured very much like a TV show, insofar as the main characters don't change much.
Yeah.
Because they kind of gotta be the same people, archetypical people from Season 3 to Season 7. So you can just turn it on and watch these characters you go on an adventure. And Dawn Trail introduces a new character who's basically the main character of Dawn Trail. It is that character's story. It is about that character going through an arc. So your enjoyment of Dawn Trail is going to live or die whether or not you like that character.
And some people just don't like her.
I love that character. She's
Yeah.
one of my favorite characters in the whole game. Also, the front half of Dawn Trail is wildly low stakes. It's
You shouldn't
basically-
like her. Ninja Bunny, you shouldn't like her. Ishtola is the most boring member of the main cast, and it sucks.
Ishtola,
She's one of honestly, the cast is already kind of disproportionately male.
Yeah.
At least in terms of who's showing up on a minute-to-minute basis,
Yeah.
and it sucks because Ishtola is one of the two female presences that is there most of the time. There's some other female members of the main cast, but they take hiatuses. if you will.
Ishtola is pretty boring.
And it's it's Alize and Ishtola, and it's Alize's great, Alize's awesome, and then Ishtola's like complete milquetoast. She has nothing going on. She's the only character with nothing going on.
Ishtola is a very boring character who, because they're TV characters, she can't get anything interesting because
Yeah.
she needs to be generically pretty.
She's just
cat
generically
lady.
competent and
Yeah.
smart, and
She's-
it's just boring.
She's well acted.
Yes.
She's
well performed.
Just intelligent lady, but she's not interesting. The fact that she is the poster child is just because she is a hot cat girl. She is easily the least interesting member of that party by a pretty wide margin. Everybody else in the main cast of FF14 is way more interesting, including literally the secretary who has no superpowers
and also
and never
including
fights.
characters who get added in way later. That's the other thing. Like there are some main cast members who get added in way later who are like awesome, like immediately awesome.
Yeah, she's a holdover from the original game, which sucked. And yeah. But yeah, the other big problem with Dawn Trail is that the front half of it is basically, so that character Wook Lamont is basically a candidate for a throne in a foreign country, and the former king is basically holding like a series of trials for his 3 children, and also one other guy who's like popular and standing for the throne, basically. And it's like, whoever can solve my riddles will be crowned king. And they're like obviously elaborate character tests, and trying to teach his children lessons.
Dean, I should say, sorry, Dean, the characters do go on arcs, but it's more like it's arcs, and it's more like the arcs are TV show arcs. It's not like a movie arc where it has like a definitive beginning and end, because theoretically they could keep making expansions until the end of time, and so the character's never going to like have all of their stuff fully resolved, and they always kind of have to leave a few threads open.
They can't completely change.
Yeah.
So like, just to give an example, and some of them have changed, because like after A Realm Reborn, a lot of the characters leave and are completely rewritten. Like Thancred's entire characterization was
just completely thrown in the garbage.
I like the ladies,
and then that's when he completely dropped.
And then he goes away for like 40 hours, and then when he comes back, he never flirts with anyone ever again, and he's got a totally different deal.
And I mean, and all of Heaven's Word is about basically 2 characters' arcs.
Yeah.
Like
there are characters who have arcs, just not like it's.
But it's also one of these. So specifically, there is a character. I'm not gonna say who it is, but people who have played the game know who it is. There is a character in Heaven's Word where at the start of Heaven's Word they are like broken. They have like made a ton of mistakes, and they are like really down on themselves and not really confident in anything they're doing anymore.
Because they were previously smug and completely confident in everything that they do.
And basically this character goes through an incredible arc in Heaven's Word. It's like the best part of Heaven's Word. And by the end, this character is basically is a new person. They are a better version of who they were in A Realm Reborn. But now, since then, since we're focusing on other characters, season 3 is the Thancred season.
That character is essentially in a holding pattern.
From there is kind of in a holding pattern with a few minor character shifts from there.
It's not to say that they never learn or change at all, but they have basically like, okay, that was their arc, they learned their lesson, and for now we're good with them. It's not to say that nothing ever happens with the characters. I think the characters are pretty interesting, but they're TV show characters and not in the miniseries sense of a TV show. They can't change too much. It's more about the scenarios that they go through. The other problem with Dawn Trail is that the front half is about basically like, we're going to go to this town and we're going to learn about their agriculture. We're going to learn about how people barter in this country.
It's very small scale compared to what you've been doing for the previous 50 hours.
And I love it. They sold it as virtual tourism of a fantasy land. That was the marketing campaign, and I think that's exactly what it feels like. And I loved it, and I really enjoyed it. But a lot of other people were like, this is boring. I don't give a shit. Why am I having a cooking contest?
Sorry, the Heartless Heroes comment there is brutal, and I agree wholeheartedly.
At least other members of the Scions got to stay dead.
The other boring members of the
boring
Scions.
members. Oh, yeah. They kill a couple of the boring characters. But yeah, I would say, like, because I mean, even the characters all have stuff going on. They have drama. They have problems.
Here's the way to actually frame it,
okay.
Dean. It's a lot like like a Super Nintendo or like a PlayStation 1 RPG like party, in terms of unless it's like one of the 3 or 4 like core characters, usually they're gonna get 1 or 2 quests. Like 1 or 2 quest lines that's really going to show you what that character's about, and you're going, and hopefully it's good, and you're left with a better opinion of what that character's doing and what they've gone through. And it's kind of like that, except the game is a lot longer, so it can feel like they're in a holding pattern for a bit longer, because you might get 10 hours of them going through that arc, but that still means you're left with 40 or 50 where they're kind of in a holding pattern.
Like where we're at in Endwalker, one of the characters has gotten multiple scenes where they're basically dealing with the fact that they still haven't quite gotten over the death of a person that they loved, who died all the way back in A Realm Reborn. So do we count that as character development? Or is it just, hey, remember that this guy is still sad about that character dying, we're going to spend some time with them talking about it? Like, is that an arc? Is that how, again, at the beginning of a movie, a character's going to be totally different by the ending of the movie, probably, if it's an exciting, good movie, unless the point is that character doesn't learn and change. Just depends. Like, how do I put this? Walter White changes a lot over the course of Breaking Bad, but I would say that by the, season 3, Walter White is who Walter White is. He has some initial, oh my god, I can't believe I'm a criminal. And at a certain threshold, he hits a point. He
becomes the one who knocks.
He doesn't say it out loud until, the ending of the show, but he hits a threshold where in his head, he's going, actually, I like who I am now.
Yeah.
But there's still, 2 more seasons after that, 3 more seasons after that.
Circo Duck, we are at the beginning of the best dungeon in Endwalker. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
I assume anyway, based on what we've already given you. I'm gonna guess that
the place where your trust options are the craziest trust options.
And you go, oh, I am not queuing for this normally.
But the that's gonna have to be the ending of this stream because the next episode of Final Fantasy VII
Get
premieres
ready for the next episode
in 2 minutes. So we're going to end this stream here. Hope you guys had a good time. And if you want to, go and click on the next episode of Final Fantasy VII, and we will watch the conclusion of the Wall Market arc. I will be in chat. I may not be giving it my full attention because I got a couple of other things I need to go do, and I've watched this episode. But I will be in chat. So let's all flip over there and have a good time.
Switch to this.